The story begins with a story about the main character named Sam, who is a professional in computer games and completes any game at the maximum level. His favorite game is Love in 10,000 Worlds, where you have to charm all sorts of girls in different time periods. You can get the location of a girl in different ways, both by physical conquest and by blackmail. Sam has already got the 100 hottest girls in the game, which no other player has been able to do before him. Our hero manages to seduce even the toughest and most belligerent girls, and he considers himself a professional in this matter. Winning over girls is so easy for him that he secretly makes a wish to get into his favorite video game. And then the light flashed in the room, the computer monitor began to make terrible sounds, and it seemed that it would now be pulled right into the computer. The wind in the room increased and had already turned into a hurricane emanating from the center of the monitor. With all his might, the protagonist began to drag right into the screen, and despite the fact that the guy was much wider than the screen, surprisingly, he did not feel pain. There was a loud bang and silence fell in the room, as if a few seconds ago a person had not been sucked into a computer screen. Sam was falling down, it seemed that he was about to vomit, all the organs were compressed, and the feeling that he was about to break did not leave him. The hero landed softly and immediately sat down. There was no more pain and fear, the place in which he was reminiscent of the character creation screen in his favorite game Love in 10,000 Worlds. He saw a girl in a short white dress that barely covered her underwear. He recognized her as a fairy of 10,000 Worlds. Sam began to ask the girl very emotionally how he could get out of here, and whether it was possible to withdraw his desire and get home right now. The girl answered the hero that he himself knows everything very well, he just needs to do what he was best at in the online game. The girl also said that the old game account of our hero no longer exists and he will have to go through everything again, with a 0 level of skills. The hero was very angry and promised that as soon as he got out of here, he would immediately sue the developers of this game. The girl replied that after signing the license agreement, his life was in the hands of the game developers. The hero asked if he was supposed to have some kind of ability so that he could complete the game faster. Of course, the creator has prepared for you 5 abilities that correspond to the 5 attributes in the game. Talent helps you get more abilities to become the strongest. Vicissitude allows you to use shadow abilities and become invisible. Physical strength makes it possible to pump the body. Intelligence contributes to the development of all kinds of spells, with which you can destroy the world with one gesture. Sam asked what the use of charisma could be. The fairy replied that charisma makes him more attractive. He thought that this was not a very good joke and did not want to choose charisma with other options. The hero was about to click on the intellect, when suddenly something pushed him from behind and he did not see where he clicked. Sam opened his eyes and was horrified. He accidentally chose the most, in his opinion, useless skill. He began to swear loudly and shout that he was set up and he was not going to choose this skill. The fairy said that nothing can be changed and you just need to start the game. The girl disappeared, a bright whirlwind spun under the hero's feet, which began to drag him into the beginning of the game. The action is transferred to the first game location, created on the basis of the city of Yunzhou, very picturesque and atmospheric. Before us in all its glory appears the sorceress of the snow shadow named Siri, a student of the great master who kills evil spirits and protects the peace of the city. The sorceress walked through the marketplace and looked after herself jewelry. Suddenly, a bright beam appeared in the sky, which struck directly into one of the towers where the baths were located. The sorceress saw how the beam broke through the roof of the tower and something large, the size of a man, flew along this beam. The main character opened his eyes and did not immediately understand where he was. His head was spinning, his arms and legs did not want to obey. The hero heard women's screams around him, looked around and realized that he was in the women's side of the hot springs. Looking at the suddenly appeared gentleman, the girls began to behave very liberated. They called him to swim together without clothes. The hero was not ready for such a rapid development of events and with all his might began to run away from the place where the girls were about to attack him in order to drag him to take a bath with them. The palace guards also chased after the hero, since the appearance of men in the women's bath is strictly prohibited by the law of this kingdom. The hero ran away, and they shouted after him that he was a pervert and would certainly be punished. Although the girls called the hero a pervert, they did it with adoration in their voice. They considered him very attractive. The guards continued their search for the unknown pervert. Sam was very angry at the situation that had happened, which he could not influence in any way. The guard noticed the hero, but he decided to open the skill log and saw that he only had an evil smile of defense in his attributes. Sam was angry at what a useless skill he got. There is nothing to do, you have to use this skill and come what may. Clumsily, he began to apply this skill. The first time was not entirely successful. After one of the guards saw the smile of protection, he was even more convinced that the main character was a pervert. Sam was just furious. He knew that he needed to try again, because that grimace, which he distorted, was not evil. He began to try again the evil smile of defense skill. And then an incredible thing happened. The guard stopped, became confused, and after a moment he beamed and said to himself that he had fallen in love with a man for the first time. The guard with a smile on his face said that it was love at first sight. Sam picked up a brick from the ground and slammed it into the guard's face. While the guard was falling, the main character told him that he loves girls and is not going to reciprocate the man who, a few minutes ago, wanted to bring him to execution. Our charismatic hero was put on the wanted list after the attack on the guard. Now he was threatened by even more guards. They opened fire to kill, launched several dozen arrows at the criminal. The hero tried to dodge, it was difficult. One arrow grazed his shoulder, and he saw blood splatter across the ground. Sam realizes that he will not be able to defeat the guards with any skills and there is only one way out. Run wherever your eyes look, as far as possible. But then by chance Sam stumbles upon a brothel. He tries to run inside as soon as possible, and literally stumbles upon a girl, but the blow did not happen, something softened the collision. The girl was very surprised at such a swift and unexpected meeting. The hero, not having time to catch his breath, asked the girl if she could help him. The girl, without listening to the end of the request of the visitor, said that for the sake of such a handsome man she was ready for anything. She turned around and shouted to someone, "Girls, meet the guests." The hero saw how 4 girls of incredible beauty came into the hall, in outfits that aroused a desire to get to know them better. By the time the guards ran into the house, the girls surrounded the hero and covered him with themselves. When asked where the criminal was, the main girl replied that there was no stranger here. The commander of the guards did not believe the girl and ordered to search the house to find the hiding criminal. However, the girls said that if he dared to invade her house, she would report the situation to their commander-in-chief, who is a frequent visitor to this establishment. The owner of the business appears and says that there is no need to embarrass the guards, because they are doing their job. She allows the guards to search the house and says that they have nothing to hide, because they are not doing anything forbidden. At this moment, Sam is under the mistress's long dress, for beauties took him away. While the first eldest distracted the guards, the hero smells the mistress's body, it turns him on very much. After half an hour of searching, the guards returned with a report. The hostess stood motionless in the same place. The head of the guard asked the hostess for forgiveness for the inconvenience caused. The hostess said that they could stay at their establishment as it would soon be opening time, but the guards refused. Sam, who had been on his knees for more than half an hour, was already barely holding on, and in order not to fall, he grabbed the mistress's smooth, tender leg. This was very unexpected, and the hostess cried out. The head of the guard began to suspect something and peered intently into the attire of the hostess of the salon. But fortunately, someone managed to tell the wife of the head of the guard the information that he had been in the brothel for more than half an hour. Her vicious appearance frightened not only the commander of the detachment. The guard's wife, with a deft sharp movement of her hand, grabbing him by the ear, dragged him home. The hostess breathed a sigh of relief. Everything turned out as she planned. Sam no longer had strength left, his muscles numb, he could not stand in such an uncomfortable position. He began to fall, holding on to the legs of the owner of the salon, and they fell together. When they fell, the hero's neck was stuck between the legs of the hostess and she strangled him. Sam lost consciousness. The girls working in the salon were very scared. The hostess saw that he was wounded and blood was flowing from his shoulder. The hero lay motionless, drops of sweat were flowing from his forehead. Someone began to call for a doctor. The hostess did not lose her head and tore her dress in order to be able to bandage the wound. After a while, we are transferred to the room where the hero lies with a bandaged shoulder. And above him are 3 charming girls in vulgar robes who looked after him while he was unconscious. The hostess of the salon enters the room. She has medicinal herbs in her hands, and she is wearing the same dress. If she tore the dress a little higher, then one could see her underwear. The girls are discussing how to give the hero medicinal herbs. One of them offers to give medicine from mouth to mouth. The girls are arguing about who is best suited for this role. The mistress of the brothel enters the game and says that she herself is able to help the victim. The girls leave the room in disappointment and leave the hostess alone with the wounded guy. The hostess drinks medicine from a spoon. Look at the guy with loving eyes. And with the help of a kiss, he gives the medicine to the patient. The hero immediately woke up and quickly found himself on top of the girl, without opening his lips in a kiss. The hero dreams that he is in the forest and two slugs attack him and fall on his face. He doesn't understand why he can't tear them away from his face. It turned out that he was imagining it, and he rested his face on the mistress's chest. In delirium, he began to shout loudly that he would kill these slugs. The scream was so loud that all the brothel workers heard it. The hostess was discouraged by this behavior of a stranger and thought that he was really a pervert. The hero received a slap in the face for his behavior. Since Sam came to his senses, he was invited to a tea party. He thanked the girls for their help and apologized for his behavior. The girls offered him several options for the development of events, or he remains in the salon and works for them, or they give him to the palace guards and say that in addition to past crimes, he committed new ones in their salon. The hero has no choice but to pretend that he agrees to their terms. Sam asks what he will need to do to work off the debt for saving him. He thought that he would have to fulfill the love whims of the girls from the salon. He was forced to clean up the entire salon. He certainly did not count on such difficult physical work. But everything turned out not so bad. Almost every girl in the salon head was to help the hero. They promised to do the job for him in exchange for him spending the night with them. Each girl considered it her duty to be the first to get Sam's location. The competition for the hero's heart was just beginning. The hero understood that if he charmed as many girls as possible, he could gain more experience points and advance to the next level. Night fell. The hero was in the room provided to him. He was finally able to test his gaming experience and was pleasantly surprised that he managed to score an additional 1,000 points during this time, which he can exchange for new skills. Sam saw that it was possible to purchase the Book of 1,000 Wishes, which gives the opportunity to multiply experience points if the hero had an intimate relationship with a girl. But there was one big problem: this skill costs 100,000 points. The fairy who accompanied Sam to the game decided to help him, because she watched how many difficult trials he had to go through. She made an exception and gave him a 99% discount on skill acquisition for 10 minutes. The hero was extremely happy with such a bonus and decided to use it for sure. When buying a skill, the hero rose into the air. He was enveloped in purple swirls. He felt a strong breath of wind. Sam glowed both inside and out, and felt an incredible surge of energy. The next morning, leaving the room, he began to stumble upon the insanely languid glances of the girls. They literally undressed him with their eyes. The hero heard the girls say that he became even more attractive than he was yesterday. At this time, there was a visitor in the salon named Stone, who got angry that all the girls stopped paying attention to him and watched the main character. Sam, feeling a clear superiority over the man, answered him with a smirk that there was no one more dazzling than this man in the room. Stone from such a tone became even more angry and threatened him. The man grabbed the hilt of his sword and asked Sam if he knew who he was talking to. At the same second, the mistress of the salon intervened in the quarrel and asked for forgiveness before the master for the new worker. The master realized that the hostess would now be able to make concessions to him and do what he asked, if it did not humiliate her dignity, and then he offered her a glass of wine as a sign of reconciliation. But he thought everything through in advance and, in a flurry, poured a hot heart powder into a glass of wine, from which any girl wakes up a desire for intimacy. Mistress, suspecting nothing, drank a glass of wine. Stone asked how much it would cost him to spend the night with the owner of the salon, because he was madly in love with her. The mistress replied that she did not sell her body, and that he would no longer dare to ask her such questions. But the man already knew that the powder would have to work very soon and she would have no choice. After 15 minutes in her bedroom, the lady already felt the heat spreading throughout her body. From the heat, she began to take off her clothes. At that moment, Sam decided to come in with an apology to the mistress for his behavior. The hero from the entrance began to thank the hostess. But then he saw her and his pupils widened. The hostess was only in her underwear, and the hero saw her elastic forms. That hour, the hero ran out of the room at the speed of light, shouting that he had not had time to consider anything. But after a few seconds, a gentle, fragile hand pulled him back into the room. The girl put him on a soft bed, and she bent over him so that her hand was between his knees. She asked him for help. The hero was scared. The girl said that in a glass of wine there was a powder that enhances attraction and desire, and now she cannot think of anything else. She began to untie her bra, and threw it on the hero's face. 3 times we had to help our hero, the lady, until she felt better and returned to normal. Meanwhile, Stone decided to go to the mistress's room, but the wrong door. As soon as he entered, the door slammed shut and he thought his plan had worked. He saw the sweet lips of the girl at the entrance, but did not expect that this was not the right room. He was greeted by a girl, but she was a little more than he expected. Stone did not expect to meet a girl of this size. He tried to run out of the room. However, he could not open the door to leave. Plaster began to fall from the ceiling. The girls working on the floor below couldn't understand what was going on. One of the girls began to guess what caused a small collapse of the ceiling. Loud and rhythmic moans came from the mistress's room. For a long time the inhabitants of the salon had to listen to these sounds. There was blood on the bed. Sam quickly dressed and tried to run out of the room. He still could not recover. He did not believe that he had succeeded. The hostess said that he should not be nervous, because nothing terrible happened. Sam told the landlady that he didn't expect the girl who worked at the brothel to be with a man. The girl on emotions launched a pillow at the hero and began to swear at him. The hero ran away, and the girl looked after him. She did not understand her feelings. Just a few minutes ago she experienced incredible emotions, and now she felt empty and used. Sam went out onto the balcony of the floor and was surprised how real everything was, and that it hadn't been like a game for a long time. He saw Stone running away and asked what happened to him. The man looked very bad and whispered to himself that he would never forget such a shame. The girls of the salon shied away from him. They thought that he was sick. The hero yelled at the exhausted Stone that his plan hadn't worked. While the gentleman with the last of his strength ran through the cabin to the exit, Sam thought that thanks to the man, he had advanced as quickly as possible to the next level. It was a great opportunity to practice the techniques. Now our hero was at the next level, where he had a technique. It's called the Charm of Living Beings, and judging by the picture, it is activated with a snap of the fingers. It seems to be clear, but you need to check. And here is the first test subject. Come here, cat. Fascination of living beings. As expected, it worked perfectly. I will use it. Sam in his head already began to think over new plans for the charm. He went to the marketplace to buy a present for the girl he would need to get his hands on. She was on the square, the same student of the great master Siri. An incredibly beautiful girl in white, whom he saw as soon as he entered this world. The girl asked the seller about the cost of various jewelry, and he promised her a discount for beauty. Siri thought the discount was a very good option. She pointed to the hairpin she wanted to buy. The hero appears and asks the seller how much such a hairpin costs. The seller said that this is a very valuable piece of jewelry, because it is made of ice stone and the finest jade, which is so rare in this area. Very skillful and expensive work. And she is definitely real, asked our hero. How dare you say that I deceive people? I would really like to believe you, but I think I'm right. The hairpin burst in the hands of the hero. The girl was interested, and the hero said that she needed to be more responsible in choosing jewelry and shops. How dare you try to deceive me? I will not tolerate this attitude. The owner of the jewelry store was very angry with the guy because he broke the goods and exposed him as a deceiver in front of the student of the great master. The store owner called 2 guards to deal with the hero and teach him good manners. The sorceress of the snow shadow decided to deal with the ambles herself and was already preparing for battle. But the hero stopped her. He needed to show himself. He said that he was able to deal with these unfriendly guys himself. A third guy came up. He introduced himself as an older brother, said that this battle would not be as easy as he thinks. We are professional fighters who graduated from the martial arts academy. Everyone wanted to show a cool fighting stance. They were confident in their abilities and fighting techniques. Their appearance was supposed to frighten the enemy. The sorceress told the hero that despite the fact that they look like 3 pumped clowns, they should still be feared. Don't worry about me, I can handle it, stay away and don't interfere. How manly and handsome he is, Siri thought. Enough boasting, it's time to move on to the fight. Catch my fist of death. The hero dodged, hit directly in the stomach with the seduction skill of the essence. The older brother caught his breath, his pupils dilated, his pulse quickened. The fighter lay on the ground and said to himself how pleasant and easy it was for him, and his brothers were in a state of incomprehension. What kind of spell did you put on him, evil sorcerer? The brothers asked. If you continue the battle, then the same will happen to you. the hero replied. But they did not believe him, and after a few seconds they were in the same love euphoria as their older brother. They could no longer continue the battle, the spell of love was stronger than the muscle. After a moment, the people in the marketplace tried not to get close to the muscular guys. Siri remarked that she had never come across such a strange yet effective fighting technique before. The hero said something unintelligible and changed the topic. He asked the name of the beautiful girl. The sorceress called herself a student of the great master. Sam said that it was an honor for him to meet her. Siri said that soon there will be a selection of students to prepare for participation in the tournament for the title of the best magician, and he could take part in it. Suddenly, a gentleman from an intimate services salon intervened in the conversation and turned to Siri. He called her sister and said that he had been looking for her for a long time. Most likely they had a strained relationship, because Siri replied that she should not report where she was. Sam decided to take advantage of the fact that the relationship between the sorceress and her brother is not the best, and added fuel to the fire by asking him if he had been in a brothel for a long time. When Siri heard that her brother was going to the brothels, she was a little surprised, or rather, furious. Stone called the hero a mean dog and asked his sister not to believe a single word of his. Sam replied that at first they had fun together in a brothel with girls, and now he calls him a dog. Stone realized that he could not win the verbal fight and could only justify himself to his sister. He promised to take revenge on Sam, but the hero grinned and said that he would certainly wait for the hour of reckoning. They parted in different directions. The blonde sorceress was also not visible, and the hero went to the salon. Today he has a day off. Night fell, the full moon brightly illuminating Rose Street, where the sex parlor was located. The hostess of the salon was standing at the mirror in her room. She was wearing a new bright red dress. Its cut, which reached the waist, said that she did not have underwear. She looked at herself in the mirror and could not understand what was happening to her. For several days her thoughts were only about the hero. Sam met the hostess and decided to make amends. As a gift he presented her with a gold hairpin stolen in the market from a fraudulent seller. The girl could not believe her eyes and ears. Our hero expressed his understanding that this gift was very useless, but he wanted to please her and make amends. "I like your gift," the girl said with warmth in her voice. Warmth spread like a wave through her body. "To be honest, I'm very glad that I could please you," the hero said. While Sam was talking, the girl dropped her handkerchief on purpose. "Oh, don't worry, I'll help you pick up your handkerchief." The hero bent down at the feet of the hostess to pick up the fallen red handkerchief. He did not have time to sit down. As the girl stretched her slender long legs to the hero's chin, he smelled her skin. This could not leave him indifferent. The hero looked up and saw that the girl had no underwear at all. The smell of her body excited the mind of the guy. He could no longer control himself. But the hero continued his game and said that if she wanted to spend the night with him, then it would cost her dearly. The girl said that she was able to pay any amount for the time with such a gorgeous man. The hero sharply pressed the girl to him. With his right hand he held her by the waist, with his left he grabbed her by the neck and kissed her tightly. The girl melted into the arms of the hero. She felt her heart want to jump out of her chest. Sweat came out on her forehead. Her lips were very wet. The hero took off the dress from the girl and laid her on her back. Nothing else restrained the hero. In the languid moans of the girl there was no longer a businesslike and strict tone. She was at the mercy of the guy and she liked it. The next day came. The hero woke up and did not see anyone nearby. There was a note on the table next to the bed. In the note, the girl said goodbye to the hero and asked him to remember her, because she would never forget this best time in her life. The notification system reported that the character's game card was received and added to the achievement section. The hero was happy with the unlocked achievement, but he felt somehow sad. He decided to leave the salon and go on his way. The caretaker found out that the hero wanted to leave the salon and expressed her regret. The hero thanked the girl for her hospitality and help. The girl said that she could not forbid him to leave the salon, but she would not let him go so easily. At the same moment, 3 more girls ran into the room and began to hug the hero and take off his clothes. The hero has not yet recovered from nightly entertainment with the hostess, so he decided to use improvised means. Groans from the cabin were heard throughout the district for an hour. The hero got a new experience, including the gaming one. The girls were still a little overwhelmed by cramps in the hip area. They lay exhausted. Sam left the room satisfied. He went out into the city and again stumbled upon the brother and sister he already knew. Stone followed his sister, a student of the great master. and asked her to go with him to the clan and help prepare for the initiation ceremony of a new generation of students. The girl said that she still had business in the city and there was no need for her to rush to the clan right now. To make the meeting seem more natural, he made a surprised face when the sorceress looked in his direction. The hero told the girl that he was just looking for her and was very glad to see her. She asked how she could help him. Sam asked her to take him to the clan in order to meet the teacher and start training. Great, Siri noticed, we were just about to form a clan. The girl's brother was confused, because she had just said that she was not going to the clan. The man told the hero that he could not get into their clan, because this would require flying through the air, and only members of the clan have this ability. The girl noticed that it was absolutely not scary and she would help the hero get there. The man shouted something after the departing hero and his sister, but no one listened to him. The girl told the hero to hold on tight to her when they get to the clan's location. Sam replied that if she let him touch her body, then he would not let him go again. They swept with the speed of the wind over the rocks and plains. On their tail hung the girl's brother. They moved at extreme speed, and the girl told the hero to hug her tighter, or maybe she deliberately developed such a speed to make the hero hug her as hard as possible. The hero grabbed her just below the waist. He breathed in the scent of her developing hair, felt her body trembling. Sam decided to say how pleased he was that the girl decided to help him. She was confused. The girl's brother really didn't like watching his sister being hugged by a stranger. The hero understood this, and decided to anger the man even more. Stone was furious and decided to root out the problem. I got a box of paralyzing needles, aimed right at the hero's back. And he released a dozen charged needles to the hero who did not expect anything. The girl heard the sound of needles flying in her direction. She abruptly turned 180 degrees and covered the protagonist with her chest. At that very moment, she was paralyzed, sweat came down her face, a quiet "Why, brother," flew from her lips. The man himself did not expect that such a situation could happen. The girl and Sam were in free fall, the hero could not fly. Stone made no attempt to save his sister. He only thought about how he could justify himself to the foreman of the clan. He considered that even if he saved his sister, she would tell everything to the master and he would not forgive him. And if no one finds out about his act, then he can live in peace. With these thoughts, the man went further across the sky. The girl was drowning, she could not move, the needles immobilized her with poison. She mentally said goodbye to this world, but suddenly, the main character swam up to her, who managed to draw full lungs of air and through a kiss was able to share it with the girl. Siri opened her eyes and regained consciousness. The saber of the sorceress was approaching them, but it flew right into the hand of Sam. Did he also have the abilities of their clan? In that case, I can save us and deliver us to the clan's location. The hero raised his saber up and mentally gave the order to fly. At that moment, there was a splash in the water. The hero held the girl in one hand, and the other directed the saber up. They flew at high speed. They could not fly for a long time, the girl needed a rest, she still felt bad. Having settled down in the shade of trees, the guy and the girl considered that the danger had passed. They did not expect that in a moment they would have to face a new enemy. There were a little more enemies than the hero expected. The notification system sent a message about the enemy. It was a bloodthirsty wolf, a second-level enemy. There is no choice, you have to fight, because not only the guy's life is at stake, but also his companions. The enemy was not going to give time to think, attacked at the first opportunity. Sam decided to use the points he received to acquire battle skills, a second, and only the skin remained of the bloodthirsty wolf. The hero saw how experience points were credited to his balance for the destruction of the wolf. With the professional movements of a swordsman, the hero scattered the bloodthirsty wolves from side to side, leaving them no chance to profit from the flesh of his companion. The hero swung his blade right and left, and the enemies kept coming. He felt tired in his hands. The situation became more complicated, they had to think of something, otherwise they would not get out of the forest. The hero wanted to take the girl and step back, run away. But something huge, of unimaginable size, blocked their way. The animal made a roar that resounded throughout the forest. A huge animal that looked like a grizzly bear, with bright red wild eyes, a sharp blade on the skull, stood up on its hind legs and roared with all its might. It was a demon of the forest, a level 4 enemy animal. How all this is not on time, the hero thought, I urgently need to think of something. The animal lunged at Sam with a wild roar. He applied the art of seduction, but did not know if it would work. Damn, didn't it really work, and now death will overtake me. The animal held Sam with its huge paws. A second later, a huge bear, like a friendly dog, licked the hero and wagged his tail. A dozen wolves did not share the mood of the bear and continued to show with all their appearance that the hero was their prey. The bear cub obviously did not like the fact that they wanted to eat his new friend. A blow, and part of the wolves flew 200 meters away. A blow, and the second part of the evil creatures flew far from the place where Sam was. Those who could still stand on their paws wanted to return to the fight. But the bear let out a roar of such force that they tucked their tails and rushed into the forest with all their might. Night fell, the moon illuminated the rock where the hero and his friends settled down. There was a crackling fire in the cave. The hero thanked the bear for saving his life and providing a place to spend the night, but it was a bear. She did not speak, but with all her strength she hugged the guy and began to rub her muzzle against him. The hero approached the exhausted companion and said that they should try to remove toxins from her body. It is necessary to remove outer clothing to find the places where the needles hit. The place of the wound was found, the game hit the girl right in the shoulder. The hero began to suck the poison out of the wound. The girl felt good. The poison is very strong, spitting, said the guy. You cannot stop, otherwise the poison will continue to spread through the body and lead to death. The hero sucked out the poison, but he saw the girl delirious. She groaned and said incomprehensible phrases, "Keep going, don't stop, I feel so good." Morning came, the rays of the sun illuminated the cave in which Siri slept. She woke up, she was cold, she was weak. She looked around and saw that she had no clothes on, and there were drops of blood nearby. She thought that while she was unconscious, Sam had taken advantage of her. Meanwhile, the hero returned to the cave. In his hands he had forest berries. The girl attacked him with a blade, a tray of berries fell on the ground. The girl said that she would kill him, as he took advantage of her helpless state. The hero began to make excuses and say that he did not touch her, but only tried to save her life. The girl aimed the blade at the guy's throat, but the blade resisted. The girl turned to the blade and asked why he was resisting. Was the guy really telling the truth? The hero choked with fear and splashes of red liquid flew out of his mouth. "What's wrong with you?" the girl asked. The hero replied that while he was sucking the poison out of her wound, he got poisoned, as he did it for the first time, and now he is mortally ill. In fact, the hero deceived the girl, and it was not blood, but the juice of red berries, which he did not have time to chew. The girl said that she remembers how the needles flew into her, but also one needle hit him, why he was not hit by poison. Sam said that his friend gave him a jade maple leaf pendant and the needle went straight into it. Siri thanked the hero and said that she could teach him her clan's technique, which rids the body of toxins. "I'm not a member of your clan," the hero remarked. "I don't want to steal your secrets. You saved my life and therefore I will repay you by revealing a few secrets, especially after what you did. The head of the clan will agree to take you as his disciple." "Thank you very much, ma'am, I won't forget it. It's time to start training, call me a mentor," Siri said. Sam was glad that his plan had worked for years. Meanwhile in the cloud-hidden clan, the head of the clan was furious when I heard that his best student had died and Stone could not help her. Stone began to tell how, on the way to the clan, they were attacked by an unknown robber and wanted to steal the secrets of the clan, tried to take Siri's blade away. Stone managed to repulse the attack, but at the last moment the robber dragged his sister underwater. The head of the clan at the same moment called all the wizard fighters and sent in search of his daughter, said not to return without her, alive or dead. The fighters promised to follow the teacher's order and hit the road. Stone asked to be sent in search of the girl and him, since he understood that the truth could be revealed, he needed to play it safe. "I believe you," the teacher said, "go in search of Siri, you will succeed." Stone was already thinking about how to make sure that the girl was never found. Stone's father, who was the brother of the head of the clan, brought an elixir for the girl in case she was found badly injured. "Be sure to give the elixir to the princess to drink, he can save her life." The man left the temple and went on his way. "Head, you must stay sane, stay cool, I understand your concern, but the clan is counting on you. I can't think of anything until I know if my daughter is still alive." Meanwhile, the main character is fishing on the shore of a pond. He does not go out to catch fish, but he does not leave this occupation, because he needs to feed the mentor and the bear. "What a pity that I cannot use my charm on fishing." It seems he was wrong, and charisma works for everyone. Almost 100 fish rushed out of the water to the hero. He did not expect that he could charm even a fish. In a moment, several dozen fish were already lying on the shore. The hero thought that the charisma skill was not so bad as it turned out, you can even get food with it. Sam turned around, as he heard the sound of a cut in the air. Men in white cloaks flew across the sky, they flew on swords. The hero immediately understood what clan they were from. So they're looking for Siri, very interesting. The hero hurried to the cave to tell about what he saw. At this time, the girl meditated, the chakra thickened around her, the body was cleansed of poison. Quick footsteps echoed through the cave. "Finally you're back, I'm hungry," said the girl. But not the one she expected to see entered the cave. "Hello, sister, I see you didn't waste any time," Stone noticed. Siri told her brother that she would report to the head of the clan that he attacked her. "I don't know how you survived, but I'll fix it now, sister, you left me no choice." The princess informed her brother that if he dared to attack her, then there would be no way back for him. "How dare you, mean girl, say that to me, the great warrior of light, I will destroy you." The man drank the pill he received in the palace, now his regeneration power was at its maximum. The medicine also enhanced his magical characteristics, the chakra was burning all around. The girl was frightened, she had never seen the power of the experimental pills that were made in their secret laboratory. So know the strength of the warrior clan of the village hidden in the clouds, the energy emanating from the man seemed to destroy the cave. The princess understood that in her current state, she was no match for Stone, full of strength and drinking a pill. The man opened his mouth to say the spell technique when suddenly, got hit in the face by a huge fish. Sam greeted Stone and asked if he had hit him hard in the face with a fish. The hero knew that the princess was weak and he would have to cope on his own. The girl warned the hero that her brother had arrived to take both of their lives. Stone said it was great to have a hero here and not have to look for him later to finish what he started. The hero had to borrow a sword to face such a strong opponent. The fight began, the opponents began to quickly approach. The crackle of swords echoed through the cave, no one was going to retreat. The hero managed to dodge, strike back and injure the man's face. Stone noticed that although Sam is a very good fighter, they are at different levels of combat training. Lightning blade technique. The hero tried to hold back the blow, but it was all in vain, the blast wave threw him back with incredible force. The hero stood on all fours and tried to catch his breath. The man grabbed him by the collar and lifted him into the air with a slight movement, and said that no one would stop him from gaining power and becoming one of the leaders of the clan. The hero took his bearings in time and decided to act as best he could. Charisma technique, seduction. The hero looked at the man, he was motionless, emptiness was red in his eyes for a split second. The man stood and looked up at the hero with loving eyes. The hero realized that he needed to act right now and summoned the sword, which was already flying at the speed of sound. Blow, another blow. Stone's torn arm was flying through the air with his sword in slow motion. The hero firmly held the sword in his hands, and behind him, blood was flying from the man's shoulder in all directions. The man shouted something loudly, but the hero did not listen to him anymore. Perhaps Stone would have managed to escape from the cave, if not for one thing. At the exit, they were already waiting for him. He hit his head on something soft. It was a kind, for someone not very, new girlfriend of our hero. He screamed with all his strength until he lost consciousness. At the direction of the hero, the bear spared the villain. A few hours later, the heroes were able to reach the clan hidden in the clouds. The girl told her father what had happened, how an unscrupulous brother used a hidden poison weapon against her, and how her friend had to save her and risk his life. The head of the clan said that for such an act any member of the clan would have been overtaken by the death penalty. However, for past merits and due to injury, the offender would be under house arrest, and would also be deprived of all titles and ranks. The criminal, who had lost honor and respect, was taken away by his father from the room of the head of the clan. The head of the clan said that he would generously reward the hero for saving his daughter and asked what he wanted. Sam replied that he simply wanted to become a student of the head of the clan and be useful. The head replied that he would be happy to take on a young man with such a good heart, but as a general rule, he would have to pass the test. The girl began to ask her father to allow him not to pass the test and immediately enroll in the ranks of students. However, the hero said that he respects the principles and rules of the clan, but wants to pass the test and join the clan officially. The clan leader was very pleased with the young man's response and praised his aspiration and warm heart. In the meantime, the girl decided to arrange a tour of the clan's possessions for the hero. She showed him the very heart of the clan, a magical tree that gives energy to all living things. The girl said that there was no time to admire and that she needed to undress as quickly as possible. The hero did not understand what she was talking about. He asked if it was too early for her to offer him to undress, because they had not yet met properly. The girl became very angry with the hero and said that she brought him here in order to practice the 6 suns snow melting technique. The technique of melting snow develops the maximum concentration of energy for the subsequent use of any technique, including combat. Mastering this technique is impossible without a mentor, so the princess was always there. The hero successfully reached the 3rd level in this technique thanks to the help of the princess. She watched how strong his power and chakra became. The hero incredibly quickly reached almost 4 of the 4th level of technology. However, this was the first training and the body could not perceive such strong loads. The girl did not understand why the sacred place does not extinguish the fire inside the hero. Is there really no choice and I will have to help him release this burning energy? The girl could not believe that she would have to do this for the first time, and the hero was getting worse. The pangs of conscience did not leave the princess. She could not decide, but she could not leave the hero to die either. She gradually began to move her legs in stockings in the direction of the hero's belt. Closer and closer, ashamed, scared, embarrassed. She had never done this before. She began to massage part of the hero's body with her feet. He began to make strange moans. She was ashamed to hear the groans of a man who does not control himself. Several hours passed. The hero came to his senses and did not understand what had happened. Despite the fact that the sorceress was glad that the hero came to his senses, she felt dirty and disgraced. She said that she had to save him, free his body from the accumulated burning energy. Thank you very much for the rescue, but why are you so upset and your face is red like you just ran? Sam felt a new strong energy pouring through his body. His power and strength were at a new level. Suddenly, he sensed danger behind him and turned around. I saw an unknown entity flying in their direction. The unknown attacked the hero first and sent a palm full of energy into his body. Their palms joined, and the stranger uttered some kind of spell. There was a cold blue explosion, from which they scattered in different directions. The hero for a split second was sure of the weakness of the enemy, but he was wrong. The palm, which had recently repulsed the blow of the enemy, was covered with ice, and the ice continued to encircle the entire arm. Another moment and the hero turned into an ice statue. The princess wanted to free the hero, but a stranger stood in her way. He was already rushing towards her at speed in an attempt to strike. The girl could not resist the blow of such force. She had not yet recovered after helping the hero. The blow was so strong that the girl was thrown 20 meters away. However, the princess was able to stay on her feet because at the last moment she recognized the strike technique of the opponent who used her clan's technique. Despite the cold outside, a fire raged inside the hero. He knew that ice technique would not be able to hold back a magician who had mastered the 4th level of solar technique. The ice rapidly turned into water and evaporated, Sam gathering all the free chakra to strike back. He was absolutely not interested in the motive of the enemy, because of which he decided to kill them. Solar Gate Technique, 4th level. The hero moved as fast as never before, and was able to reach the enemy's chest with the first blow. The clothes were torn, and he saw a large elastic female breast. The hero was slightly surprised by this turn of events. The girl went on the run. Her level was below the new level of the hero. The princess asked the hero not to pursue the enemy, but to help her patch up her wounds. She said that the enemy used the technique of her clan, and it turns out that they wanted to destroy their own. Are there traitors in the clan? Asked the hero. Let's not talk about that, better look at my wound, it hurts in my chest area, the princess answered. Then you need to take off your clothes, otherwise we will not see your wound, princess. The hero began to help her take off her outer clothing. The girl was very embarrassed. She was hurt, but she wanted to continue. The hero touched the chest of the princess. She received damage from the ice technique and was very cold. It is necessary to rub the affected area using the hot palm technique. The hero said that not only the chest was affected, but also the place below the belt, and he transferred the girl to a horizontal position. An hour later, the hero got down from the princess and said that now her body would never freeze. The princess said that her wounds were healed after half an hour, and she does not understand why the hero did not stop there and used her for another half an hour. Sam said it was to prevent possible side effects. Siri replied that she understood that the hero simply took advantage of her condition, and although he saved her, she would not thank him. The hero asked if they could continue preventive measures tomorrow. The girl wanted to use the strongest technique on the hero, but he said in time that he was joking. "How can we figure out the girl who attacked us?" the princess asked. Sam replied that during the battle he had injured her and a wound should form on her chest, and Siri needed to start watching the girls from their clan more closely. Meanwhile, in the forest near the location of the clan hidden in the clouds, the girl who attacked the heroes arrived at the meeting place with the customer of the murder. "Our plans were thwarted, I couldn't defeat the rookie," the clan assassin said. "So, we were fooled again. This new one is not so simple," the younger brother of the head of the clan and part-time chief alchemist, who developed the pills that increase regeneration, noticed. He gave the girl his medicine so that no one in the clan could figure her out by a wound received in battle. The girl was glad that she would not have to leave the clan for fear of being convicted of treason, because the scar could give her away. A few days passed, the day came for the exam for the opportunity to study with the great master. Sam noticed how busy the main square was today. He liked the atmosphere. Siri wished him luck and told him that there was only one way for him, and that was to pass the test, otherwise she would kill him with her own hands. The princess's older sister, named Maggie, intervened in the conversation, who expressed interest in Sam, and said that her sister had been talking about him lately. The princess was embarrassed because she did not want the guy to know that she was secretly in love with him. The hero noted that the princess has a very beautiful sister and he is very glad to meet their whole family. The princess warned the hero not to think of rolling his balls up to her sister. Not only the sisters from the main family were crazy about the hero, but the other girls from the clan did not stop looking at him, and languidly sighed after him. The boys from the clan did not like the close attention of all the girls in the village to the newcomer. They planned to get rid of him at the first opportunity. It was time to start the selection. The head of the clan greeted the candidates for students and spectators of the competition. The task of the first test was announced. The participants need to collect 10 flowers of magical grass that grows on the top of the sacred mountain in 3 hours. Most of the participants considered this test very childish. The head informed the test participants that if someone felt that they did not have enough skills to pass the tests, then it was better to refuse at first. The test begins. The participants took off from their seats, and only the hero was in no hurry to accelerate. He stood and watched from the side of what was happening. The princess ran up to him and asked what was the matter. Did he really not want to pass the tests and be closer to her? The hero said that the princess should not worry about him. The girl was surprised. She did not understand what he was up to. Meanwhile, other participants searched actively, but not productively. 2 applicants walked and discussed what a difficult test really turned out to be, and in a few hours they found only 3 flowers. Suddenly they saw something beautiful and stopped. It was our hero. He went completely naked into the hot springs. Turning around, he used the skill malevolent smile of love. He invited 2 girls to swim with him. One of the sisters was embarrassed, because this is their first meeting. The second was more determined and accepted the invitation of an attractive young man. In a moment, the elder sister without clothes entered the water. Although it was scary, the youngest was not going to give up the guy she liked so easily. Each of the sisters wanted to get to know the hero better and get around the rival in this matter. But the hero replied that he would not be able to pay due attention to them, since he had little strength, and he had not yet found a single flower. The sisters replied that if the hero needs flowers, they will definitely get them for him. The hero pretended to be very flattered by their friendly gesture. The girls said that it was a great honor for them to help such a handsome man. The hero stayed at the hot springs to reflect on the charms of the life of a man who sits on the neck of a girl. As soon as he looked at the departing sisters, a girl jumped into the water. She asked what she needed to do for the master so that he could spend a stormy night with her. The hero said that he was glad for such attention, but he felt her chakra. He snatched algae from the water, which had been constricting his leg for several minutes. The girl turned into a water witch. Sam said that he knew that she only wanted to suck the life out of him, and refused to spend a stormy night with her. The evil spirits gathered green chakra around themselves and directed it towards the hero. Green algae surrounded Sam from all sides. In a moment, he was already bound by dozens of strong algae. The green monster said that due to the fact that the master is handsome, she will not kill him, but simply take away all the energy. The hero looked at her with a languid look and said that she had no chance against him. He used the 4th level burning sun technique. The monster began to scream in pain. The algae were burned. The green evil spirits asked for mercy. because she did not have time to harm him and made him a compliment. The young man decided that she could avoid execution, but she must be punished without fail. The girl gave herself to the hero and was all in his power. The groans of evil spirits were heard in the district. The guy praised the skills possessed by evil spirits and wished her correction. The green beauty thanked him and promised to improve if he did such educational work with her at least once more. Cries for help were heard in the forest. Two sisters were trapped by a tree demon who was guarding the flowers they needed. The tree demon was a huge oak tree with slits for the eyes and mouth, from which insane chakra oozed. He pointed a sharp-edged branch at his younger sister, which flew right at her head. The girl has already said goodbye to life and dreams of spending the night with a handsome man. A moment before the death of the girl, using the technique of the constellation of the dragon, the hero cut a thick oak branch with one movement. The tree swung its branches from side to side in a rage, destroying everything it touched. The hero said that he would not allow anyone to harm his future sisters. There were many more girls in captivity of the evil spirit than the hero immediately noticed, but each of them was immensely glad to him. All attention was focused on the handsome young man who was about to destroy the evil spirit of the forest. The battle began, a dozen branches sharp as spears flew at the hero. With one blow of the blade, the hero smashed into pieces all the branches directed at him. However, the wood chips also proved to be dangerous. The hero began to take the enemy more seriously and follow his every move. The girls were upset, but more so that a scratch had formed on the beautiful, perfect face of the young man. They could not continue to watch how their handsome man was being disfigured, and in a few seconds they were freed from the demonic embrace. The forest watchman was in a state of confusion. The hero watched how the girls dealt with the demon using various techniques. He saw that not far from the battlefield were the very plants, thanks to which he would be able to complete the task. A few minutes later, the demon lay on the ground motionless and looked like an ordinary felled tree. The dying tree was told by the girls that it was a mistake to hurt the most handsome guy. But the young man was no longer there, and he did not know how the outcome of the duel ended. He kept walking, but could only find 6 plants. There was a sound of cutting through the air. Again someone wanted to kill the hero. His quick reaction allowed him to dodge without taking any damage. Suddenly there was an understanding that it was not just enemies that attacked him. 4 test participants attacked, who found only 1 plant each and wanted to take away those collected by the hero. Really lucky, Sam thought to himself. Men could not understand why the hero was looking at them with such interest. 4th level sunstroke technique. In a moment, with broken faces, with bruises under their eyes and bumps on their heads, 4 men stood and held out their flowers to the hero. He thanked them for their generosity and set off. The time allotted for the test was almost over. The area was filled with participants. The head of the clan said that the winner of the first stage could immediately become his disciple. The hero thanked everyone for the opportunity to participate in this test. The princess was very glad to see him not returning empty-handed. The members continued to admire the handsome man and offered him a room in the women's dormitory. The princess realized that not only she fell in love with the hero, she did not understand what feelings she was overcome. She had never experienced jealousy before. Siri retired to a snowy mountain and thought about him. Sam arrived just in time, before she had time to be angry that he did not share the joy of victory with her. She asked why he didn't have fun with other girls. "I want to thank you, mentor. Thanks to you I have reached such heights and become part of the clan." The girls said that today is the night of purification and everyone who has sinned will certainly come to the holy spring, including the girl who attacked them. "And when she comes, we can see the scars you left on her body." The hero asked the princess not to risk herself and not try to detain the girl herself. The girls took a bath in a hot spring and said it was a pity that there was no handsome brother nearby. The princess looked around, but did not see anyone with a wound on their chest. The hero lay in the room and thought about why the princess has been acting so detached lately. The cotton and trousers of the hero smoked in the groin area. He was frightened. Smoke filled the entire room. The fairy caretaker appeared and said that if he was thinking about the princess, then he needed to ask her what was bothering him. "What are you doing here?" asked the hero. The fairy replied that, as an observer, she could be anywhere, but she could not influence the plot of the game, and no one could see her except Sam. The hero said that he would like to follow the advice of the fairy, but he could not go to the women's bath, because he would be kicked out of there. The fairy advised him to transform into a girl and go talk. Such a plan aroused distrust. The fairy advised me to contact the system store and acquire the necessary skill. Indeed, There is such a skill in the system, and you can become a girl without surgery. The hero acquired an illusion charm that went well with his pumped charisma. The hero asked why the fairy tells him if she is forbidden to influence the course of the game. The fairy said to consider this a system prompt and enjoy the game. It is very interesting who the hero planned to become. From the initial changes, it was not clear who he was turning into. Long legs, short white dress, white hair, blue eyes, golden bow on her chest. The fairy was very surprised when she saw herself, but not in the mirror. The hero said that he made himself according to the template that was before his eyes. But still something has changed, the chest has made more. He looked and from her displeased expression, he realized that everything had gone well. Of course, what girl will like it if we talk about her small breasts? At this time, the princess was observing at the hot springs, but she did not see anyone with a scar. A hero in a female guise came to the reservoir and called the princess. She did not understand what was happening and what the unknown girl wanted from her. Sam revealed his secret and asked the princess to keep her mouth shut. Siri couldn't figure out what was going on or how he did it. The hero explained that he did it for cover and wants to help her catch the criminal. The princess was worried that the hero would see her naked. The elder sister of the princess appeared at the springs. Immediately, she drew attention to the hero in a female form, and complimented him, thinking that this was a real girl. The princess had already begun to tell who was hiding under the guise of a stranger, as Sam stopped her. He introduced himself as Tsunade, the daughter of the ruler of Hidden Leaf Village. The older sister said she was pleased to meet you. Sam said that there are no people living in these places who do not know the daughters of the main family. Maggie complimented our female hero once more and retired to take a bath. The princess asked why the hero did not let her tell her sister about him, to which Sam replied that she also needed to be checked for scars. The princess said that she would not dare to suspect her sister of plotting against her. Sam noted that he suspected everyone and her sister too, and until he was convinced otherwise, no one needed to know why they were here. "What should I do?" asked the princess. The hero already had a cunning plan. He climbed onto a stone and began to shout that there was a poisonous snake in the pond. A slight panic began, but the hero still did not see anything. He decided to immediately check on his older sister and pretended that the snake was swimming in her direction. Sam screamed that the snake got under Maggie's towel and he would save her. The towel was torn off, the hero got his way. He began to closely examine the breasts of his older sister. He did not see the cuts and was upset by this. Maggie continued to scream and kick the water, fearing a snake attack. She held the main character by the head, pressed to her chest, his pulse became stronger. A notification came that if aroused, the illusion enchantment would dissipate. The girl stood close to the hero and began to notice something oblong right under the water. She thought she saw a snake and tried to grab it with her hands. And then Maggie caught it, but she could not understand why the snake was so hard to the touch. The hero looked at her frightened, and she held his snake in her hand and squeezed it tightly. Because of the steam from the holy springs, no one except Maggie noticed the transformation of the hero from a beautiful girl into a guy. She covered it with her body from the girls and told them to run away quickly, as the snake is very dangerous, cunning and possibly not alone. The girls decided to listen to their older sister, because she was from the main family and they had no reason not to trust her. Maggie asked Sam to explain what was happening here and what kind of tricks he was doing here. Sam replied that he couldn't concentrate on the story while Sister Maggie was standing naked in front of him. A little later, two princesses and Sam were sitting in the gazebo, who explained to the eldest of them that they were trying to find the killer in this way. The detectives were very embarrassed to say that they suspected Maggie of such things. Maggie invited Sam to examine her breasts, feel and check in any other way he wanted. Sam liked the idea and he was already thinking how he would check the body of his older sister. But at that moment, the younger sister with all her might loaded her fist into his arrogant, contented muzzle. Maggie did not know whether she liked this situation or not. On the one hand she liked Sam, but on the other hand, her sister also liked him. The younger sister refused the help of the older one and decided to deal with the pervert herself. Maggie said goodbye and said that they needed to deal with the attack as soon as possible and find the killer who attacked them at the sacred place of concentration of energy. Thanking their sister for their participation and excitement, the heroes remained united. Meanwhile, in the laboratory of the brother of the head of the clan, there is a meeting with the killer. It turns out to be Maggie, who says that she is already suspected and will not be able to hide for a long time now. The brother of the head replies that in a few days he will complete the divine pill and become the strongest man in this mortal world. Maggie says that the divine pill is strictly prohibited by law, and if anyone finds out, then he will face the death penalty. The man replies that he is not afraid of anything and asks Maggie to just delay the heroes so that they do not get in the way. The man says that he now has only one goal, to avenge his son, who was crippled due to the fault of his younger sister and her arrogant friend. Events take us to the area of the hidden cloud, where the chief master demonstrates the training of his new student. Sam was demonstrating the Scorching Sun level 5 skill. He smashed to pieces a huge block of ice standing in the center of the square. The blow was so hot that not even a drop of water remained from the ice block, everything evaporated in a split second. The master praised the student for mastering the 5th level technique so quickly. Sam noted that he achieved such heights because the princess helped him, but this is not enough for him and he wants to master the last 6th level of technology. The master replied that the 6th level cannot be reached alone, one needs to merge with a female master who can sacrifice her honor for him. The hero did not believe that in order to master the technique, he needed to copulate during training with a girl. The master said that during the ritual the girl must lose her innocence with the hero, but will he be able to find such a girl? A dozen girls in the square squealed and shouted that they were ready to part with their innocence for the sake of the hero. The master was shocked by such a development of events, embarrassedly turned around and headed towards his palace. Leaving, he replied that he could not help him in this matter and let him figure it out himself. The hero, first of all, offered the princess to help him in mastering a new level of technology, telling about the nuances. The sister was outraged by the proposal, but inside she understood that she would like to perform the ritual with Sam. Sam said that if she did not help him, then he had no choice and he would have to find another. The hero did not have time to announce the casting for the role of his assistant in the development of technology, as the first girls gathered in front of his doors. He asked the girls to be quiet while he was testing them. Those who were waiting could hear strong rhythmic slaps and moans coming from the room. They were delighted at the thought that they would soon be in the place of his girlfriend. The princess was very angry at what the hero arranged and watched from afar what was happening. Sam loudly said that the first girl is not suitable, as she will not survive the hard training. The girl left the room exhausted, half-dressed, her dress was torn, and her underwear was missing. Sam said he didn't have much time and asked the girls to get into his room as soon as possible. An hour later, the princess could not stand the jealousy and burst into the room to the main character. In the room, sweaty half-dressed girls were lying on the floor and breathing very heavily. Princess Siri burst into the room and began to yell at Sam for using the sisters' tutors. Sam knew that sooner or later the princess would visit his room. She was taken by surprise by the fact that the hero was expecting her to come. Sam said that he considers Princess Siri to be the teacher with whom he wants to improve his level of Scorching Sun technique. Siri did not know what to say to the young master and asked what he had been doing here with the tutor sisters for more than an hour. Sam said that now he would show her if she was not afraid and help him become a master of the 6 solar paths. A moment later, Siri was lying on the bed, sighing heavily and clutching the sheets as hard as she could. The moans of the princess spread throughout the floor, but only a small part of the girls understood what was happening in the room. Sam did a magical foot massage to the princess, which made her experience an incredibly violent emotional upsurge. She didn't expect a foot massage to be so enjoyable, she couldn't breathe. She writhed on the bed like a snake, it seemed that she had convulsions, but she did not tell the hero to stop. Sam replied that he liked the reaction of her body the most and she was able to hold out longer than the others. Maggie was watching what was happening from the street. She understood that if they continued to train together, then even an uncle's pill would not help. Upon learning of the joint training of the princess and the upstart who ruined his son's career, his uncle was confused. He gave Maggie a poison that stops the development of any spiritual techniques, and told her to pour it on her opponents. Maggie asked why not just poison them, to which uncle remarked that he wanted to kill them with the most terrible death. The uncle said that he wanted Sam to see how his son married Princess Siri before he died. Princess Maggie was overcome by incomprehensible feelings, she did not know if she was on the right path. Meanwhile, the heroes devoted all their free time to training. The princess stopped and said that Sam should have mastered the 6th level technique by now. She lifted her head, looked at him, and couldn't believe her eyes. The hero's hair turned white and gave off silver. A knock was heard outside the door, the older sister wanted to enter their room. Sam was very wary, he still didn't know who the killer was and Maggie's suspicions remained. The younger sister left the room and asked the older sister why she had come. The eldest replied that she knew how tired they were in training and brought them chicken soup to replenish their strength. Seeing Sam's white and silver hair, Maggie opened her mouth and couldn't believe her eyes. Sister Siri thanked Maggie for her care and the chicken soup, which smelled very nice. Maggie said that the soup should be eaten as quickly as possible before it gets cold. Sam said they couldn't eat the soup because they didn't know if it was poisonous. Maggie pretended to be very upset that Sam still didn't trust her. The hero took out sunglasses, pretended to be a tough guy and said that he knew who attacked them and this was Maggie's sister. The sister began to make excuses and say that she was checked for the presence of a scar, which she does not have. The younger sister began to stand up for Maggie and say that she had known her all her life and she could not betray her. It is not known how you managed to get rid of the wound, but you still miscalculated when you talked to us. In that conversation, I spoke only about the wound, but did not say a word about where the attack took place. And then Maggie remembered how, as she left, she had said that they needed to deal with the attack as soon as possible and find the killer who attacked them at the sacred place of concentration of energy. It was just my guess, you can't judge me based on that phrase alone. Sam quickly got his bearings and offered Maggie a bowl of her own soup to prove her innocence. Sister Maggie realized that she was taken by surprise and that she needed to drink soup, because it only contained powder that dissipated power, and not poison. She drank a cup of soup with trembling hands, hoping that she had not been deceived. The hero was a little confused, but still did not believe Maggie. He believed that she had drunk the antidote in advance. Siri, in order not to offend her sister, quickly drank a bowl of soup. Sam did not know what to do, because he knew that something was wrong with the soup. He yelled at the princess. But it was too late, the powder was absorbed into the blood, the head was spinning, the body burned from the inside. The elder sister, too, could hardly stand on her feet and cursed her uncle, who had deceived her. Meanwhile, the brother of the clan leader was waiting for the powder that burns from the inside to take effect. The man told his son that he was doing everything for him, for his happiness. The traitorous brother had been sitting for weeks now, smiling, delirious, and his father thought he had lost his mind. At this time, a divine pill was being prepared, but to complete the preparation, a guide was needed, the heart of a loved one. The father decided to take the heart of his son, who was now useless, took out a blade to strike. But before he could turn around, dozens of needles with immobilizing poison pierced his back. The man could not believe that he was deceived by his own son, because of whom he came up with a plan of revenge. The son admitted that he had been waiting for this moment for a very long time, constantly pretending to be sick and crazy in order to learn more about the pill. The father, lying on the floor, begged for mercy, but the son was only interested in the divine pill. The son was insane and did not hear anything. He wanted to rip out his father's heart in order to complete the ritual. Meanwhile, the two sisters of the princess were burning from the inside, and only merging with a man could extinguish their fire. The hero understood that what was happening was what he had already seen in the battle against the traitor brother. The girls surrounded Sam and panted directly into his neck, wrapping their arms around his waist. The younger sister asked to save the older one, because she was not to blame for being deceived. And the eldest asked to save the youngest first of all, since she would not be able to live if she died through her fault. The girls did not wait for the consent of the hero and threw off their dresses, remaining in underwear and stockings. Sam had to save both sisters at the same time. He had never had such an experience, but he liked it. Sam has leveled up and unlocked a new skill, Fascinating Mirage, which can stop high-level opponents. The younger sister thanked the hero for his generosity and salvation. The older sister was very ashamed that he saved her, although she tried to kill him. The hero lay exhausted on the bed, unable to get dressed. Maggie said that she agreed to become her uncle's assistant because she was jealous of Siri, but she is very sorry and asks for forgiveness. Siri said she was ready to forgive Maggie if she promised to improve. Maggie asked that, as punishment for her transgression, Sam use her as his slave for a long time and do whatever he wants. Siri got angry and said that now is not the time for jokes, because the enemy is not asleep. Maggie said that her uncle was perfecting the divine pill, and if he was not stopped, then disaster would happen. Sam began to question the sisters about what the divine pill was. He was told that the pill is a secret forbidden drug that instantly develops a person's abilities to the limit, but he loses control of himself. Sam said that it was time for him to visit the family of traitors and punish them for what they had done. Siri gave Sam a magic blade, a relic of the Hidden Cloud clan, which can only be controlled by a warrior who has reached the 6th level of the Burning Sun technique. Sam thanked Siri and, taking the blade in his hands, felt incredible energy. Before he could leave the bedroom, Sam felt an insane energy approaching the roof of the house. A few seconds later, an explosion of enormous force destroyed the wall and roof of part of the house. Thanks to Sam's new abilities, he was able to create a protective barrier during the explosion. He again saved 2 sisters who could not feel such a lightning attack. On the roof of the ruined house stood a traitor brother named Gaw Gon, unharmed. The princess asked how he got a good hand and the strength to use such powerful techniques. The traitor brother said that his father, whom he sacrificed, perfected the divine pill and now Gaw Gon is invincible. Sam rushed at full speed to Gaw Gon to deal him a crushing blow. But Gon with one hand stopped the blow of the blade, moving at an incredible speed. He said that now he is at an incredible level of strength and cannot be stopped by an ordinary blade. The hero asked what about the blade called Snow Slayer, which has the power of divine flame. And at that moment, the blade caught fire with a flame of incredible power and the hero dealt a smashing blow to the traitor on the sore arm. Gaw Gon's hand was smoking, as if it had just been taken out of an oven. Sam considered that there were a few blows left before defeating the enemy and prepared to attack. Gaw, laughing an evil laugh, showed the hero his whole hand and said that he was immortal. At this moment, several magic blades flew into the chest of the self-confident villain. The blades were sent by older sister Maggie, who gathered around her the sisters' mentors and hurried to the aid of Sam. It was clear that Maggie's blades had reached their destination, but there was not a single scratch on Gaw Gon's body. The hero asked the sisters not to interfere in the battle against the immortal enemy. But Maggie, feeling guilty for herself, could not stand aside and decided that she would do everything possible to delay the enemy. Together with other sisters, she began to collect chakra to use one of the clan's secret techniques. The opponent knew that he was immortal, but he was still afraid to feel the technique of such a high level. The sisters gathered energy and used the demonic blade rain technique. The damage was so strong that it would have destroyed hundreds and thousands of detachments of ordinary opponents. Dozens of blades passed right through Gaw Gon, a red liquid oozed from his body, but he continued to stand. The sisters celebrated the victory. It was impossible to think that anyone would survive after such a strong technique. But the enemy raised his head, a trickle of blood flowed from his mouth, but a mocking smile was read on his face. With a powerful energy flow, the enemy shot the blades that pierced his body in the opposite direction. The girls had to defend themselves, no one expected such a turn of events. Maggie tried to rush to her sister's defense, but she couldn't. The immortal brother grabbed her by the throat and did not give her the opportunity to help the sisters. The enemy told Maggie that she had a chance to go over to his side and serve faithfully. But the girl refused the evil brother and called him a coward who could never compare with the main character. Then Gaw Dan said that she had left him no choice and she would have to be killed, and after that, her vaunted Sam should be killed. At that very moment, Sam separated the hand of the traitor from his body with a magic blade and freed Maggie. Siri was waiting downstairs, helping her sister land without injury. The enemy was quickly able to grow a new arm and decided to destroy the hero first. Sam tried to play a joke on the opponent and tell him that success with women is about attractiveness and charisma, not strength. Sam combined the power of the magic blade and the Six Suns snow melting technique and delivered a direct blow to the opponent's chest. Gaw Gon was sure that an ordinary blow would not be able to harm him, so he did not even try to defend himself. On the face of the hero it was read that his plan was a success and the arrogant enemy would soon regret their meeting. Gaw Gon did not understand why his wounds did not heal, and vice versa, they became larger. The hero explained that thanks to the magic blade and the achievement of the 6th level of technique, he was able to put the energy of the sun into the opponent's body. After that, to incite solar energy, the hero struck another 10 blows with the blade at the enemy. The sun began to burn inside the traitor, his body blazed with fire, like a meteorite, began to fall to the ground, uttering strong cries. The princesses ran to the hero, fearing for his life, because he had spent so much energy. Sam, as usual, did not show it, because he did not want to look weak in the eyes of the sisters. But then, on the face of one of the girls, the hero saw unimaginable fear. Behind Sam, almost out of the ashes, a figure was rising, engulfed in flames. It was Gaw Gon, the flame burning him and the immortal body became one. The hero without hesitation and plan rushed to attack the enemy blazing in the fire. The opponent produced a fiery wave of incredible power with a single movement of his hand. According to the hero's feelings, he fought no less than a demigod, who at the snap of a finger could destroy half the world. It seemed to Sam that every part of his body was torturing, and his internal organs were exploding. The enemy was furious. He asked Princess Siri why she continues to protect the weakling. Sam had a plan. He decided to play on the enemy's jealousy of Princess Siri, and he applied the recently learned technique of a bewitching mirage. Gaw Gon kept yelling that normal techniques wouldn't work on him. In the mirage, the hero created a picture in which he and Princess Siri are going to study new techniques together in the same bed. In order to anger the enemy more, Sam added Maggie's older sister to the illusion. The evil brother was simply furious at such impudence. He did not understand that this was still just an illusion. In an artificially created deception, Sam and the girls discussed Gaw Gon's inferiority. He couldn't stand it and got even hotter. In an illusion, the princess offered to retire to the hero right in front of the worthless traitor brother. The enemy, who had completely lost his mind, decided that if he did not have eyes, then he would not see what was happening between Siri and Sam. Gaw Gon tore out his eyes, but the illusion still continued, and he saw what he feared more than anything else. The princess asked why the traitor had torn out his eyes and was not restoring them. Sam replied that he created an illusion for the enemy that the enemy does not want to see. The princess asked what it was, but the hero could not give a clear answer. Gaw Gon continued to have an unpleasant dream and muttered something about Siri licking some places. The princess guessed what kind of dream she was seeing, a traitor in love with her, and gave the protagonist a beating. 3 days have passed and we are shown a prison on the territory of the clan, hidden in the clouds. The chained traitor sees all the same vision, despite his lack of eyes. The head of the clan speaks of the unforgivable and terrible betrayal of the clan, whose memory will be the life imprisonment of Gaw Gon. The master turns to the main character and says that he is going to give him the reign, as well as his beloved daughter Siri. The princess looks confused, but is very pleased with her father's words. Sam thanks the master, but says that he will not be able to take over the clan and marry the princess. The girl asks Sam why he doesn't want to stay with them. The hero replies that he has unfinished business and needs to hit the road. Sam went to the room to collect his things, but the master stopped him. He pounced on him to give him a paternal beating, as he became attached to his soul, because he always wanted to have a son. It was late evening, the stars illuminating the hidden Cloud Clan palace. Siri decided to say goodbye to the hero and went to his bedroom. But before opening the door, she heard the loud voices of Sam and Maggie. Moans were heard from the room. It was not clear what Sam and Maggie were doing. Jealousy ensued. Siri ran into the room and yelled at them indiscriminately. It turned out that they stuffed bulky things into a travel bag. The friends decided to drink tea before the departure of the hero from the clan. Sam drank his tea in one gulp and decided that it was time for him to leave, as the road promised to be long. Big sister Maggie looked at Sam suspiciously, as if she was up to something. After drinking tea, Sam began to feel very strange. Inside everything seemed to flare up. The older sister said that she could not resist and added a magic spoonful to the hero's drink. She told her younger sister that they should spend the last night with the hero 3. The sisters decided that they would not forgive themselves if they did not taste the hero's body before he left the clan. Siri was very shy, but she could not refuse a magical night with the hero. So the hero received an achievement in the conquest of Princess Siri, and also at the same time received a card from Princess Maggie. In the morning the girls woke up, but did not find Sam in their bed. They were very sorry to part with Sam, because he became the closest person to them. The girls promised themselves that if they met him once again, they would never let him go. Meanwhile, the hero was on the playing field and watched the girls from the side. He was a little sad. The game fairy told him not to be upset, because this is not the last parting in his game profile. The hero did not admit that he had become attached to the girls and he was sad to realize that this round was over. The fairy said that he had earned a lot of points and could test the system's new features. She told the hero that the place in which he is located can be equipped according to your desires. Sam replied that he would not spend precious experience points on furnishing a room that he rarely visits. The fairy said that the place can be equipped with forges to improve equipment, a botanical garden for growing useful plants and other useful things. The hero decided to set up a forge first. Also an alchemy workshop to create magic pills that increase abilities. Now the playing space began to look much better, the hero felt a surge of energy. The fairy liked how Sam arranged the home space, and she kissed him. The embarrassed hero asked the fairy about how the buildings he built would function. The fairy caretaker promised him to sort everything out and hire workers. Worker dolls instantly appeared, calling Sam the owner and promising to take care of the household. Sam asked when it would be possible to start playing the next level in the game. The fairy informed him that the game would start at any time if he wished, but asked if he would like to learn the achievements first. The hero took out the 3 level 4 bonus cards he received and thought that it would be great if his girls were around right now. The cards in his hand crackled and began to emit a very bright light, which blinded the hero for a moment. Characters familiar to us appeared on the playing field, the mistress of an intimate salon and 2 princesses. They were very surprised that they were able to see Sam again. The hostess of the salon was in the same form in which Sam had seen her last time, in a dressing gown over her naked body. The younger sister grabbed the hero by the collar and began to ask him questions about the half-naked girl. The older sister just looked at the hero and could not take her eyes off. The situation was heating up, no one understood what was happening, and Sam did not know how he would justify himself to the girls. Sam asked the fairy about why she did not warn him about the possibility of summoning characters. The younger sister pressed on the hero the most and demanded an explanation. Sam decided to get out on the go and did not come up with anything more interesting than to think that he was not quite human. He decided to introduce himself as an angel descended from heaven to fulfill a very important mission. He came up with a story that he was kicked out of heaven for misconduct and now, in order to return back, he must endure 100 love disappointments. The younger sister did not quite believe him and decided to punish him for deceit and a dissolute lifestyle. The older sister said that she believed him, because she had never received such divine pleasure with anyone. The younger sister and the mistress of the salon thought the same thing, that they had never experienced such emotions with anyone in bed as with a hero. The fairy decided to give each girl a spiritual ring that could transport them to the hero's home play area. Princess Siri stated that she did not want to communicate with a womanizer, and she also became the head of the clan and she had little time. The elder sister liked the idea with the ring and she was wondering if it immediately moves to the hero's bedroom. The younger sister did not like Maggie's reasoning, as she was jealous of Sam for all the girls. The hostess of the salon touched the water on the shore of the lake with her legs and reminisced. She recalled the times when the hero was very close to her and missed her. And then, as if by magic, the handsome Sam appeared. He greeted the girl and asked what she did after he left. She said that she traveled and studied the magical musical techniques of seduction. Sam asked her to demonstrate her skills on her favorite musical instrument. The girl picked up a jade flute and said that her playing could cloud the hero's mind. Sam said that his level is too high for the girl to harm him. The girl took the words of the hero as a challenge and decided to show him what she was capable of. The girl began to play, magic music was heard from the flute, a fire flared up inside the hero. The hero attacked the girl, not letting her finish the game, he could not control himself. Sam said that her magical flute playing had kindled a fire in his heart and he wanted to let her play his flute. The girl pretended that she was not ready now for a joint orchestra, but she herself really wanted to be in his arms. The girl decided to give herself to the hero and do as he wants, because their desires coincided. The girl played the flute while the hero gave them both pleasure. 3 days passed. The game assistants did their best to ennoble the hero's playing space. When the hero had a rest and adjusted his life in the home playing field, he decided to go to the next level. The hero asked the fairy if she could take him to the next level in a different way than the last time, so that he would not run away from the guards. The fairy noted that the landing point and personality of the hero are randomly chosen and wished him good luck. Sam again fell into the maelstrom of playful energy, sucking him to a new level. This time he was imprisoned in a dungeon with slaves waiting for an auction, they were about to be sold. His appearance changed, his nose and ears were sharp, it was not clear what kind of creature he was. Next to him in the cell, he saw beautiful creatures in rags, they had strange sharp ears, and some even had horns. A girl with yellow eyes and ears like a fox approached the hero and asked if he was all right. The hero did not answer, grabbed the girl by the ears to check if they were real. The girl asked him not to touch other people's ears, because they are very sensitive. The hero asked everyone what kind of creatures they are, if their ears are real. The girls replied that they were demi-humans who had been captured and were going to be sold at auction. We are shown the city of Gaia, where humans, demi-humans and demons live together and contribute to the development of the city. 500 years ago, a war broke out between people and demons and both sides suffered heavy losses, but people eventually won. After that, the Church of the Divine Color proclaimed people the highest race, and the demons the lowest, and even later the demons became slaves in the hands of people. The hero realized that he belongs to the demon race and asked why the demi-human girl was also imprisoned. The fox girl replied that people no longer reckon not only with demons, but also with half-humans, their villages are being captured, and they themselves are being taken prisoner. For the same reason, the rest of the girls from the Uzumaki clan, Horned and Slugs, are here. Sam said that he understands why they can kidnap beautiful girls from demons and demi-humans, but why they kidnapped him, because he is a man. The girl explained that men are considered even more valuable for kidnapping. After all, the richest ladies in the city can buy men and use them for their perverted fantasies. The hero thought that this is a very good plan. To get out of prison, you just need to please a rich lady. A girl from the Uzumaki clan said that she had not heard of any of the male slaves finishing well, because there is no guarantee that a wealthy perverted man won't buy it. The hero was upset and did not understand how to get out of prison and pass this level successfully. The hour of the auction came, the richest people of the city gathered in the hall. Masked rich men discussed slaves bought at past auctions, fed to dogs or killed in other ways because they misbehaved. The person conducting the auction represented the seventh lot. It was a very beautiful young girl from the Cat clan, who was wearing a chic dress, and fear was in her eyes. The wealthy began holding up signs with their numbers and quoting prices ranging from $3 million to $6 million. One of the oligarchs with a plate number 599 said that one more cat was missing from his collection and offered $9 million. The deal for the cat girl was closed, and she entered the disposal of a wealthy gentleman. The master grabbed her hand tightly and was ready to take her to the room for carnal pleasures. He was impatient to try her. The girl attacked the master and bit him very hard on the arm. The girl ran with all her might. It seemed to her that she could escape and no one would find her. But the people who kidnapped her and brought her to the auction had all the unforeseen situations. Someone in the lead pressed a button that would stop anyone who broke the rules. The button was responsible for the detonation of the collar, located around the neck of all the slaves at the auction. There was a strong explosion, nothing was left of the girl, only charred shreds of the dress scattered around. The hero was shocked by what was happening. He did not understand why it was necessary to kill the girl, because there are other ways of control. The fox said that this was the rule, since any animal that bit a person must be killed. The hero was very angry. He did not perceive what was happening as a game. He wanted to punish people who do this to demi-humans. The host said that everyone will forget this incident when they see a new lot that will impress everyone. He presented a character who looked amazing and carried himself on stage like a master, not a slave. Rich girls could not restrain their emotions. They were ready for anything to get Sam into their slave. Sam said that if someone wants to buy it, then he will have to buy 4 more demi-human girls standing backstage. The host asked how the slave dared to set his conditions, but the main character told him to shut his dirty mouth. The hero was very serious, and the host could not say anything to him in response. Using the charm technique, Sam said that he was going to serve the master well, who would buy him and his 3 girlfriends. The start of trading began with $70 million and in a few seconds reached $85 million. The mustachioed man in the mask made an indignant look, seeing how everyone was cursing over the goods. But then he jumped up abruptly, shouted that from today he likes men and he is ready to pay $150 million. A rich, beautiful lady in a short skirt intervened and made a $500 million bet. The girls were surprised at such generosity, but upset that they did not have such money to take such a beautiful slave for themselves. The host said that in such a case, all 5 slaves would become the property of Madame Ginevra. The hero himself was shocked that for a half-human of his race they were ready to pay such a high price. The lady looked at the hero with loving eyes and she was already impatient to realize her fantasies with his participation. We are being transferred to Madame Ginevra's domain. Late evening has come. The lady's maid asked the hero to take off his old clothes, take a shower and dress in decent clothes. The hero began to ask the maid about Madame Ginevra, about what she was like. The girl left the answer and said that the hero himself would soon find out everything from the lips of the hostess herself. The hero decided to go and change clothes in order to look as good as possible in front of the hostess. In the closet, he saw a lot of roleplay costumes and thought it would be interesting for him to see mistress skills. Ginevra was heading into the room in a beautiful outfit, the smell of her perfume could be heard a mile away. The hero chose a more or less decent men's outfit that emphasized his athletic torso. She entered the room, the hero saw that her level was 5 stars and she was a very strong character. He called her to him and said that he was ready to deliver her allowance for the entire amount that she had paid for him. The girl liked Sam's self-confidence, and she wanted to check him out as soon as possible. The girl threw the hero on the bed, bent down like a cat and put her knee between his legs. She sat astride him and began to take off his shirt to see his athletic body. A moment and he was bound by magical handcuffs. Now he could not move, his arms and legs were tied to the bed, and the girl continued to sit on top. Now the girl offered to talk about business and it should soon become clear why she paid such a sum for him. The girl showed the hero her fangs and ears, which were exactly like his. The hero was wondering what she was up to and why she needed him. It turned out that all the girls in her castle were the same demons as he was. Ginevra revealed that she was a subordinate of the demon king who was sealed away 500 years ago. She bought his life so that he could help destroy the hammer and resurrect the king, who had been sealed away by the 7 sages of divine light. The girl has been trying to find a way to destroy this hammer for many years, but nothing comes of it. The hero said that he knew the legend of the hammer and also knew that any demon who touched the hammer would be dead. Ginevra revealed that she knows a way to break the seal, but only Sam can do it. She said that all 7 sages of the divine light have long been dead, and there is only one heiress who holds back the seal, this is Irina. If you get rid of Irene, then the seal will be broken and the heart of the demon king will be freed. Due to the fact that the members of the Hammer of Light are holy people, if they fall in love with a demon and surrender to him, the seal will be destroyed. The hero said that he would not be able to kill an innocent girl in order to free the main demon. The mistress said that she had foreseen his answer and learned that she did not need the whole hero. The hero, with fear in his eyes, began to ask what these words of hers meant. The girl said that in order to fulfill the mission, only a holy spring is needed, which she can cut off for him and so on to another. The girl swung the knife very hard and wanted to cut off Sam what was so dear to him. Sam managed to yell some kind of spell to try to protect himself. From a blow to the hero's groin, the blade in the hands of Ginevra bent, and she received a bruise on her arm. She did not expect that getting his magic source would not be so easy. The hero lay calmly, he managed to apply the magic stone spring technique. This gave strength to the whole body, he easily got rid of the handcuffs. The girl realized that the hero is not an ordinary demon, but a wizard who can do more than it seems at first glance. Sam again decided to try the seduction technique, but he had to try, since the lady is a 5th level character. The girl asked him to work out 500 million in kind and give her heavenly pleasure. She collapsed onto the bed and relaxed to make the most of their meeting. Sam turned her over on her stomach and told her not to strain if she wanted to fly to heaven. His movements were so gentle and quick that the girl at times fainted in ecstasy. But the hero did not stop there and demonstrated to the hostess all the new techniques of mastering his and her body. The girl called the hero very hardy even for a demon, and praised him for his skills. At the groans of the hostess, Sam's passing girlfriends, whom he took with him, turned around. They were sad that they were not in the place of the mistress of Ginevra now, because she was moaning so sweetly. The stormy night has gone and a calm sunny morning has come. Sam woke Ginevra, wished her good morning and asked how she was feeling. The girl said that despite the fact that he is the first man in her life, she is sure that since he does not please anyone. The hero was surprised that for a woman like her, he was only the first partner. The girl asked how the hero did not recognize her as an inexperienced girl. Sam attributed her skills to natural talent and incredible charisma. The girl confessed to Sam about her plans, in which her first man should be the Demon King. Sam reminded her that he was not going to help her in the return of her king and kill to seduce an innocent girl. Ginevra took advantage of the virgin blood and used pure blood chain magic. She said that if the chain broke, they would both die, and she was ready to die for her master. Sam did not expect that he would fall under a spell of such power and his life could be in danger. Holding the magic chain in her hands, said that she was asking the hero for the last time to help her return the master. The hero felt pain in his heart and realized that the jokes were over. The girl promised to remove the spell of blood chains, and also to reward the hero if he helped her. Sam said that he would definitely cope with all the tasks and defeat the Church of Divine Light. The girl gave the hero a route along which the heiress of the Hammer of Light, Irina, can move. Sam asked not to offend his 4 girlfriends while he was on a mission. 3 days later, the hero was already in the distant forests, where Irina's path passes. There was a roar and hammer blows, with which Irina scattered creatures from the underworld in different directions. The girl looked amazing, from the curls of her hair to the shiny armor. Irina heard cries for help coming from nearby in the forest. She did not know what was happening, but hurried to help those in need. Cries for help were issued by our hero, dressed in an eccentric outfit of white and red. He was attacked by underground creatures with huge fangs and a bad smell from their mouths. But Sam was not going to fight, he was waiting for rescue, hoping that Irina would come to his cry. And his plan worked. Very quickly the same warrior, the heiress of the 7 saints, was approaching the scene. She struck the ground with such force that the soil left from under the feet of underground creatures. After the blow, none of them could get up. The hero did not check whether they were alive. The hero thanked the savior and introduced himself as a priest from the nearest village. The girl introduced herself as a holy knight from the Church of Divine Light named Irene. Sam replied that the goblins had infiltrated his village and kidnapped one of the villagers, and since the village could not afford to hire a knight, he went to rescue her. Irina said that despite his courage, he was not strong enough to deal with the goblins. The hero replied that he believed in the divine light, which in any case would bring justice, even at the cost of his life. The warrior did not understand why her heart began to beat faster. She looked at the hero with admiration. Irina offered the hero to go on a journey together, exterminate the horde of goblins and save the kidnapped girl. The hero realized that it would not be difficult for him to ingratiate himself with the warrior. Irina used some kind of spell with a magic hammer. When asked by the hero, she replied that this was a divine light spell that helped to detect goblins. She pointed to the black aura and explained that that was where the goblins were located, which they needed to defeat. She was excited about the upcoming journey, and she said that it was time to go. Turning around, the girl saw a dark aura on the main character and asked what it meant. Sam was sure that it was all over and his plan failed. But the girl said that he was probably imbued with demonic energy during the battle with the goblins. Sam really liked her version and began to say that Irina is very smart. The girl said that if he were a demon, then she would not spare him and destroyed him with one blow. In fact, Irina was lying, because a few years ago, when people destroyed the goblin settlement in the valley, she had such an opportunity. She found 2 small goblin children, but did not kill them, and she protected them from people with a divine light barrier. She helped them hide and thereby saved their lives. She herself did not understand why she did so. Now, together with Sam, they were in a cave in which it was very hot. The hero said that the goblins choose places near the volcanic mines, and also asked Irina to take off her armor so as not to get heatstroke. He didn't expect her to take his advice and start undressing so quickly. The girl remained in the underwear, which emphasized her figure. The heroine noticed how Sam was looking at her and he felt ashamed. Irina said that she goes in for sports every day, that's why she has such a good figure. The hero decided to compliment her using charisma and said that her beauty and strength attracted him very much. But Irina said that they needed to hurry and went with a quick step deep into the cave. Sam heard the ground crunch under Irina's feet and tried to stop her. But it was too late and the warrior was already falling down into a deep hole. Having landed, Irina examined herself and realized that she had not been hurt. But she noticed that she stepped with her hands and feet into something dirty and nasty. The hero shouted that it was slimy acid and that they urgently needed to get out before the body dissolved in it. Irina was very frightened. The liquid burned her skin and dissolved her clothes. Sport stockings warrior Irina also began to dissolve. The hero tried to lend a hand to the girl in order to save her and pull her out of the pit with poison. He succeeded, but the girl still had poisonous mucus on her delicate skin. Irina tried to cleanse her skin with the divine light technique, but it didn't work out for her, and she thought that now she wouldn't be able to wear such revealing outfits, as the skin would be ruined. The hero said that magic is powerless here and you need to turn to folk methods. The hero was ashamed to admit that this was such a method. Irene had no time for embarrassment, because a few more minutes and her skin would no longer have its former beauty. Then the hero seated her on the ground and took her long, gorgeous leg closer to him. The girl did not fully understand what he was going to do to help her. The hero was worried, but could not allow the girl to be harmed. The hero began to lick her leg, each finger separately. He moved higher and higher, and the girl writhed in his strong arms. The hero continued to use his tongue. Irina could not restrain her emotions and control her body. The girl asked him to be gentle and said that she had never been with a man before. The hero received a new achievement that made the tongue so dexterous that it could be used to knit a sweater. An hour later, the heroes completed their rescue operation and Sam gave his outerwear to Irene. Irene was pleased to smell Sam's clothes, but she still felt weak. They moved further into the cave, Sam helping her walk. Meanwhile, on the floor of the cave, a fragile girl with a beautiful figure lay tied up. The goblins looked at her, licking their lips, dreaming of tasting fresh human meat. There was a strong blow with a mace on the ground. The goblin was carried away by an explosive wave. An angry woman appeared, who screamed at the goblins why they dragged the girl, if she ordered the kidnapping of strong men. One of the goblins pointed to a man in a cage, to which the woman stated that strong and fat are two different things, and with such men she will not be able to create strong offspring. She was shown a demi-human with a bull's face. She replied that this was not the race she needed. They pointed to a man. She said she was too old and weak. The woman heard steps that were heard in the cave. This attracted her attention. The heroes showed up and Irina told Sam that they were in the Goblin Queen's lair. The Goblin Queen saw Sam and was so startled that she couldn't formulate her thoughts right away. In the woman's eyes, Sam looked amazing, the kind of guys she had never met before. Sam's charisma was already affecting the woman, and she couldn't take her eyes off him. Irina called the woman a monster and ordered the kidnapped people to be released. To the surprise of everyone, she quickly agreed, but decided to set conditions. She decided to exchange the prisoners for the protagonist in order to take advantage of his ideal genetics. The heroes were a little surprised by this development of events and did not know what to do. The Goblin Queen said she wanted to taste fresh flesh, not to kill and eat, but to create the perfect offspring. Irina said that she would never give the hero into the clutches of this terrible woman. But the hero faintly said that he was ready to sacrifice his body for the sake of saving the hostages. The queen said that she had had enough of idle chatter and it was time to talk in private. At the snap of her fingers, the ground trembled under Irina's feet, after which it began to leave from under her feet. Irina left the meeting place and flew down, how far no one knew. She had a magic hammer with her and with the help of it she was able to land on her feet. She realized that she was in a magical maze and she urgently needed to get out to save Sam. Meanwhile, the Goblin Queen sat half-dressed on her plush bed. The bound hero knelt before the queen and waited for what would happen next. The girl said that Sam had nothing to be afraid of, because she did not eat people. She said that goblins brought the kidnapped people by mistake. She just asked them to find her a man with good genes to give birth to an outstanding goblin. The hero was flattered by her choice of a man, and the queen said that after he helped her, she would let him and the locals go home. The hero replied that he agreed to her terms if she promised to fulfill what was said. The girl said that she would untie Sam and warned that her character and habits in bed might seem wild to him. Sam instantly broke the ropes that bound him, thereby making it clear that he was not afraid of her wild behavior. He said that she would still beg him for mercy, because he was confident in his abilities. He ripped the queen's clothes with one touch. Now there was nothing between them. Sam asked if she could use her toy to increase her pleasure. The girl replied that this toy could not harm her and he could try. She turned her back to him and leaned against the headboard. Sam took the spiked bat in his right hand and began rhythmically touching her queen. The queen moaned, not from pain, but from pleasure. Very soon he took out his bat without spikes and was already wielding it inside. Despite the fact that the queen was very strong and enduring, she no longer had the strength to even say enough. Meanwhile, Irina wandered through the maze and tried to find a way out. The girl decided that if she could not find a way out, she would definitely do it herself. The girl began to pass through the walls thanks to the magic hammer. She waved it right and left, and now she had the confidence that she would get out very soon. In the queen's bedroom it was all over. The woman could not speak, she only nodded. Sam asked the queen not to tell Irene and other people anything. The wall began to crack in the room, and the blows were heard more and more loudly. The wall of the room was blown to smithereens. It looked like an explosion. Irina ran in, screaming that she was going to save the hero from the dirty Goblin Queen. Irina noticed that the queen was lying half naked on the bed, sweat was flowing from her and she was unable to talk. The hero pretended that he was conducting a sacred ritual to cleanse the soul of the queen from demons. The queen began to play along with him and say that she had thought everything over and was ready to take the path of correction. The girl asked how Sam managed to achieve the correction of the evil that lives in this woman. The hero said that he lectured her on the path of divine light and she rethought her life. Irina asked how you can trust her after she kidnapped people from the village. The queen said that she had not harmed them, she had already sent them home and asked for forgiveness. The warrior said that she would forgive her for the first time, but if this happens again, then there will be no more chance. Sam thanked Irina for her trust and said that they were both tired and needed to return to the village to rest. Before letting Sam go, the queen asked him, when there was free time, to instruct her to let the true one a few more times. We moved to the village of Sima, located a few hours from the goblin caves. The hero shows the village, where he allegedly serves as a priest and conducts a tour of it for Irina. The people gathered around Sam and his companion, everyone thanked him for saving their relatives. But Sam began to tell everyone that he could never save them alone, and therefore Irina from the Church of Divine Light should be thanked. The girl said that it was her duty, as the heiress of the 7 great saints, to help people. The children came running and began to praise Irina for her beauty and say how lucky Sam was to have such a girlfriend. The girl was confused and did not know what to answer to such a statement. But Sam came to her rescue and explained to the children that he and Irene were just friends. The girl did not understand why she was overcome by such emotions and why she wanted to agree with the children. The hero apologized to Irene, since there was no hotel in the village and he had to offer her a bed in his room. Night fell, the village was illuminated by the full moon, there was something romantic about it. The hero did not sleep, he thought about how to move on to a closer relationship with Irene, he knew that he had almost won her over. Ginevra appeared on the hero's bed, she said that they need to meet periodically so that the chain does not lose elasticity, otherwise it will break. The hero was afraid that Irene might see them, but Ginevra said that she cast an invisibility spell. Therefore, it does not matter at all what strength the groans will be heard in the room. Irene slept, and behind her there was a merger of 2 bodies, beating in ecstasy from pleasure. Irene felt the room shake, but she could not see what was happening, it seemed to her that an earthquake had begun. Irene thought that it seemed to her, she really wanted to turn around and see how the hero was sleeping, but she was not shy. 2 bodies intertwined a few centimeters from the warrior, this was very exciting for Ginevra. A drop of sweat from Ginevra's face rolled down onto Irene's cheek, who immediately felt it. She immediately knew that it was demon sweat, as she felt a strong burning sensation on her skin. Irene jumped up and yelled that there were demons nearby and she needed to be ready for battle. Sam, hiding the girl under the covers, said that there was nothing to worry about, because no one could be here. Irene said that she could not be mistaken, because her body was subjected to divine baptism and is very sensitive to demons. The hero began to laugh it off and say that a demon could not fit in such a small room. Irene noticed that the hero had a red face and asked if everything was all right with him. The girl under the covers continued to test the hero for strength and did not let his body out of hers. The hero tried to prove with all his appearance that everything was in order, but a fire was burning inside. The girl said that she felt the demon's heavy breathing and would definitely find it. She noticed the hero's blanket rising and falling unnaturally. She rushed to the bed to rip the blanket off the hero and see what she was looking for. But there was no one under the blanket, the hero was as embarrassed as possible, but this was not noticeable in his body. Irene looked at the hero with big eyes, and began to stutter and stutter when she saw him without a blanket. Ginevra watched from the side, under the influence of the spell, she managed to escape, and now she thought that she did not want to leave Sam, even after the mission. Irene remembered Sam's body, she was embarrassed, but the desire grew stronger. She tried to sleep so as not to pounce on Sam immediately and take him by force. She dreamed of a temple of light where Sam was the head priest. He fascinated her with his appearance and asked if she was ready to accept the holy baptism of the Pope. She did not try to resist, she was ready for whatever was required of her. She knelt before the Pope and begged for the sins she wanted to commit. The Holy Father held her hair and asked if she was ready to receive the divine light of the Holy Father into her body. Irene woke up, sweat was dripping from her forehead, everything was burning inside, the desire to be with the hero overwhelmed her. The hero was not in the room, and Irene thought it was for the best. Sam came into the room, said good morning, and invited her to breakfast. Meanwhile, Sam played with the children and gave them sweets. Irene considered Sam a good person with a sense of justice and respect for adults and children, and she wanted to invite him to join her church. A member of the Divine Light Church named Stan arrived in the village. He said he was looking for his warrior sister named Irene. A little chicken ran up to him and soiled his shiny new leather shoes. Stan got angry and decided that whoever dared to humiliate him should not live. A loud pop of the soul was heard, a short whistle, and only a wet spot was left of the chicken. The villagers were ready to throw themselves at the evil man, because they loved the baby so much. Stan said it was just a chicken and shouldn't be made into a tragedy. But the inhabitants were not satisfied with the answer of the killer, because the baby was the talismans of their village. Stan said that he was too important a figure in society and could not ask for forgiveness from anyone. A huge turd flew into his face, which covered his eyes, nose and mouth. The villagers continued to throw turds at the rude man, telling him not to underestimate the village. Residents continued to throw everything they could get their hands on: Stan, eggs, poop, vegetables, and garbage. Stan, under the pressure of the villagers, went back and did not notice how he approached the cliff. I stumbled and flew down, I could not do anything so as not to fall. Below, a surprise awaited him, he fell into a pit with waste, emitting a fetid odor. He was very angry and promised to punish all the villagers who defamed him. Near the garbage pit was Irene, who asked Stan what he was doing here. He replied that he was worried about her and missed her very much. She warned him not to come near, as his smell was like a mixture of dead animals and rotting vegetables. Stan told how the people of their village attacked him and threw him into a waste pit. The villagers asked since when can members of the Divine Light Church oppress ordinary people and kill animals. The hero said that the killed chicken was a symbol and a talisman of the village for several years, and if Stan does not apologize, the inhabitants will not calm down. In order not to look like a blockhead in front of Irina, Stan publicly asked for forgiveness for his unworthy behavior and compensated for the damage financially. Stan took a bath and said that the mission was completed and they could return to the Church of Divine Light. Sam said that he was pleased to meet the girl and hoped that they would meet again someday. The girl began to ask the hero to join the Church of Divine Light and follow her. Sam said that he was a simple priest and not worthy to be near them, but inside he was glad that the plan worked. Stan began to talk about how not everyone can join the Church of Divine Light, much less the village priest. Residents intervened in the conversation and began to say that Sam is not just a priest, but the pride of the whole village. Irene said that everyone is equal before the Divine Light, regardless of origin and circumstances, and therefore she vouches for him. The hero promised to do everything in his power to justify her hopes. Stan agreed, but said that he would still have to pass the test on an equal footing with everyone else. Stan invited Irene to ride with him, and offered the hero a separate horse. But Irene refused the offer and said that she would go with Sam. Stan was worried about the fact that he ruined the impression of himself in front of Irene and now it will be difficult to restore it. Stan's horse fell and lost consciousness, he did not understand what had happened to her. The hero said that it was because of the stench from the garbage pit, which would not be washed off for several more days. Irene suggested that Stan meet at their destination, near the Church of Divine Light. The hero was very happy to travel alone with Irene, because this way they could become closer to each other much earlier. Stan was very angry with the hero and promised that he would not leave it just like that. Anyway, Irene would be his girlfriend. The heroes rode on a white horse, they were only the two of them, and nature was around. Irene asked if it was necessary to slow down, since this is the hero's first ride on horseback. The hero thought that he had already seen this scene before and decided to check it out. He hugged the girl's waist tightly and used the burning feeling technique. A fire flared up inside the girl, she felt the blood rush to different parts of the body. Suddenly she screamed and realized that it was just a dream, so terrible and sweet at the same time. The girl said that they had almost arrived at their destination and that the holy city was already visible. The city was beautiful, the buildings looked neat and powerful. Irene said that the city is the richest place on the continent, it houses the seat of the Church of Divine Light. The hero liked the city and was already impatient to begin the test for becoming a member of the church. The hero wanted to rent a hotel room, but Irene offered him a room in her house. She said that her house was very spacious and he should like it there. 10 minutes later they came to Irene's house and the hero could not believe his eyes. He asked the girl how she decided to tell him that it was just a cozy house. The hero began to think about who Irene is if she has such a castle at her disposal. The girl said that she inherited the house from her parents. Many years ago, the girl's parents were killed by demons, but she miraculously managed to escape. When it was the turn of the demons to kill Irene, she was not afraid of death, she wanted to leave after her parents. And then a flaming ball appeared, and the demons died, unable to bear the heat of the divine fire. She was saved by the previous owner of the Hammer of Light, setting an example that she was not afraid of demons. Since then, Irene has joined the Church of Divine Light and helps people fight evil spirits. The hero pretended to smile, but was afraid that she might find out about his true nature. At the entrance they were met by the butler Sebastian, who was delighted at the appearance of a guest in the house. He said he was glad to meet Mrs. Irene's young man. The girl said that they were just friends and that he would stay for a few days to prepare for the entrance test. Sebastian said that while the mistress was gone, he hired 2 demi-humans as maids who could help the guest settle into the bedroom. And then Sam saw his familiar girls whom he had saved at the auction. The hero was very surprised by such a meeting. He was interested in the question of why they were here. Hannah and Bella said there was nothing to worry about and they would escort the guest to a place where he could comfortably settle down. The girls led him to one of the rooms of the castle. They said that he could enter, it was a bedroom for guests. Sam entered the room and said that he was waiting for an explanation from his friends, he was interested in how they ended up here, and most importantly, for what purpose. The friends said that they were sent by their mistress Ginevra to assist the hero in carrying out her insidious plan. Sam thought that he still knew very little about Ginevra's capabilities, but in any case, it wouldn't hurt to help him. Hannah and Bella were glad that the hero took their stay in the castle on the positive side, they promised to do whatever it took. Meanwhile, Sam decided to relax in the bathroom, it was nice for him to take off his priest's clothes and take a break from everything. But Sam's calm was broken, someone entered the bathroom, the first thing he saw was slender legs and a towel put on a naked body. It was Hannah and Bella, who were already without clothes, only wet towels covering their bodies, they wanted to take a bath with Sam. The hero did not immediately understand why they had come and began to ask them what they needed. Hannah said that she and her friends are very grateful to him, because he helped them gain freedom and escape death, now it's their turn to repay him. The girls entered the water, Hannah offered to rub the hero's back, and Bella approached Sam from the front. She dove under the water and Sam felt her hand grab him between his legs. The girl suddenly emerged from the water, Sam was worried about whether she had time to unclench her hand under the water. Bella said that he doesn't have to worry, she will do everything so that he likes it and doesn't regret saving them from death. Sam noticed how transparent Bella had become and asked Hannah what was going on. She replied that Bella is from the Slug clan and when she comes into contact with water, she can change her body, taking on any shape. Sam decided to touch the girl, and his hand went inside her body, he was pleased with these sensations. The girl said that she also felt pleasant sensations from the hero's touches, and she wanted to feel his whole body. It was visible how her watery shell separated and enveloped Sam's body, both of them were overcome by pleasant sensations. It seems to Sam that he is at the pinnacle of bliss, he felt Bella with every cell of his body. The girl's sensations were even stronger, pleasure spread throughout her body. The girl could not stand so many emotions, from overexcitation, her watery body began to split into molecules, it seemed there would be an explosion. Hannah managed to pull the hero out of the water body before splitting occurred. Sam looked in the direction where the explosion had occurred a few seconds ago and saw Bella. But she was not alone, there were 4 girls in the water, and each of them looked like Bella. Hannah explained that this is a skill of the Slug clan, they can create several clones that have common feelings. The hero never expected that he could try to play with so many girls at the same time, he was glad. We are transported to the kitchen of the castle, where the warrior Irene communicates with her butler Sebastian. The girl thanks the man for the delicious freshly squeezed orange juice. Sebastian asks the hostess about her attitude towards Sam, who was brought to her house, he considers her to be in love. But although the girl blushes at these words, she still says that there is nothing and cannot be between them. Sebastian looked at the family portrait of the mistress and her late parents, and remembered her mother's words that thanks to the red skirt, the gentleman fell under her spell. With sadness, Sebastian realized that he would never forget the expression on Irene's father's face when it came to his wife. The girl, meanwhile, left the kitchen, saying that she still had unfinished business and needed to run. Sebastian understood how the hostess had grown since her parents passed away. Meanwhile, in Sam's room, Bella was lying on the bed, exhausted. She was a human again, and she had only one body. The hero, lying with his head on Hannah's lap, thought that if he were not a demon, he would not have mastered so many girls in one night. Hannah looked at the tired Sam with love. She really enjoyed the night she spent with him. It was magical. The hero lay there. He didn't want to get up. After such a stormy night he needed rest. The hero received a 4-star character card and the ability to transform into a fox. The second game card also gave him game points and the ability to transform into a slime. The calm was disturbed by loud and strong knocks on the hero's bedroom door. It was Irina, and she wanted to talk to Sam. But it was impossible to open the door for her when there were half-naked girls lying on his bed. But the door was not locked, and the girls said that if he was awake, she would come in. Irina sharply opened the door to the room. The hero's heart squeezed harder, and the girls on the bed instantly used their camouflage abilities. Sam was sitting in the bed under the blanket, with a slug on his head covering the tips of his ears, and a small fox lying on his lap. The hero stroked it like an ordinary cat. Irina asked why there was a slug and a fox in his room, and why he was acting so strangely. The hero came up with a stupid excuse and said that they came from the forest, he fed them and they didn't want to leave. Irina believed in his stories, said that he had a good heart, and her choice in his favor turned out to be very correct. She wants to help him pass the test of divine light, and therefore will pass on information about special training. Sam thought that this would be very useful, and said out loud that he didn't know if she was doing the right thing. The girls said that during the test, a staff of light would be used against him, which creates illusions, turning people's main weaknesses against them. These weaknesses are lust, gluttony, greed, envy, anger. People with these vices will not pass the test. Sam put his hand on his heart and said that his actions and thoughts are pure, and everything he does is for the sake of justice, and therefore he will pass the test. The girl said that she believed in him, because besides lust, she saw no other sins in him. Sam acknowledged Irina's position and asked how she could help him in this situation. The girl took off her dress. She was not wearing underwear, her skin was very soft, and her figure was slender. The hero was amazed by her action and did not understand why she did it. But the girl explained that he needed to pacify his lust, train with her, then he would be able to resist illusions during the test. Sam approached the girl, put his arm around her waist and pulled her close, asking what would happen if he couldn't control himself. Irina replied that then her body would be desecrated, but she believed him, and he would not let her down. Sam asked what they would do next to increase his resilience level. The girl took out a magic emerald and squeezed it in her fist. A tight suit began to appear on her body. Her hair fluttered in the wind and gave off an exciting scent. The hero looked at her body. He thought about whether he needed this test. Sam thought that if you just looked from the outside, it might not be so difficult to restrain yourself. He also mentally thanked the fox and slug that Hannah and Bella had turned into, because the stormy night had relieved him of the stress. But Irina began to come closer. The situation became more complicated. She began hugging him from behind, breathing heavily in his ear, which set Sam on fire in his head. The hero held on as best he could, although it was very difficult. Irina tried her best to seduce Sam, but she really hoped that she would not succeed. After an hour of bullying the hero, the girl got dressed, said that now he would definitely succeed, and said goodbye to him. The door slammed shut, leaving Sam, Hannah and Bella outside the room. The girls were surprised by the guy's resilience, because they saw how passionately Irina tried to seduce him. He turned around, beads of sweat running down his face, his eye was twitching. He said that if they didn't help him, he would burn from the inside. He was overexcited. Although the girls were wary of this attitude, they were not against repeating the night games and having fun once again. The next morning came, the day of testing the Church of Divine Light came. Irina asked Sam why his face looked tired. Sam replied that he was nervous before the test and was fine. The girl led the hero to the church, where the test was to take place. Already in the church, Sam saw a man in the robes of a nun. In his hands there was a staff. This person was a delightful girl named Franca. She introduced herself as one of the 7 sages of divine light and the staff of light. Sam introduced himself as the priest of a small village. Stan appeared in the church, who began to call the hero a redneck and also say that he did not have enough strength to pass the test. Franca said that a person whose thoughts are impure will fail the test and will suffer fatal injuries. Sam spoke about his confidence and that he would not let Irina down, who believed in him so much. The girl beamed. After hearing Sam's words, she began to see the hero more attractive. "In that case, go to the testing room, we can begin," said the serious Franca. According to the hero, Franca looked very cute and he thought that passing the test would not be difficult. Irina told him not to be deceived by Franca's appearance, because each of the 7 sages of divine light has very strong abilities. Franca is a staff of light and is known for her love of torture. No one can withstand her torment. Sam walked up to the door leading to the testing room and said he was ready to begin. Franca said that he could come in and the test would begin, which would put everything in its place. The girl took off the blindfold and told me to look into her eyes. They were very unusual. Sam tried to compliment her eyes, but she cut him off. The girl talked about how she was wounded in a battle with demons and lost her sight. But divine light gave her the power to see through people. She found herself in Sam's inner world and decided to take a look around to see what he was like. Franca was very surprised when she was greeted. She was greeted by 5 model-looking guys, all of whom looked like Sam, but dressed in business suits rather than priestly robes. Inside Sam's world, the girl had different eyes and saw everything. She was interested in studying the strange inner world of the hero. Sam, in a business suit, invited Frank to sit down and talk to get to know him better. The girl accepted the hero's proposal. She liked such communication. Sam poured alcohol and invited her to drink a glass of red wine. The girl did not know how it would end, and persuaded herself to stick to what the divine light had bequeathed. Franca said that as the staff of light and one of the 7 sages, she should not drink alcohol. Sam said that they are in his world and this all happens only in her head, so nothing prevents her from breaking the rules. Franca thought that Sam was right. She wanted to believe him. She began to drink glass after glass, forgetting about why she was in Sam's world. 2 hours passed, the alcohol in the bottles disappeared very quickly. Despite the large amount of alcohol that was drunk, the girl asked for more. Sam told the girl that she was already drunk. Everything was going according to the hero's plan. Frank blamed Sam for her condition and promised to punish him in the name of divine light. He gently took her hand and said that he understood her soul. She understands her loneliness, which has already become a part of her. Franca replied that she did not need anyone or anything except the divine light, for which she was ready to give her life. But at the same time, the girl thought about the quiet conversations behind her back. They feel sorry for her, because she cannot even see the divine light she serves. So she hurts others to numb her own. With every word, the girl realized that Sam was right. Sam said that such a young and beautiful girl needs to try all the delights of this life and not limit herself to anything. He snapped his fingers and the location changed. Now the girl was sitting on a large soft bed in a red room, which conveyed the internal energy of lust and debauchery. Sam said that he could show her something better than divine light, but the girl was afraid. The hero said that what was happening was unreal and she had nothing to fear, because it would not affect her in real life. He extended his hand to her and told her to follow him into a world of delight and lust. The hero took out his staff of light and showed it to Franca. She was pleasantly surprised. Their bodies merged together, and Sam inserted his staff into the girl, spasms of pleasure accompanying her body. And then she felt a pleasant warm energy spreading throughout her body. She couldn't control herself and let out a long groan. The hero received an achievement card and the ability to use divine light. The girl woke up in the real world, in the hall where the test took place. She saw that she and Sam were lying on the floor and some of their clothes were missing, and she realized that everything had happened in the outside world. Sam replied that it doesn't matter whether it's fantasy or reality, but the main thing is that Franca liked it. She asked Sam who he was and why he did this to her, to which he replied that he was just a priest from the village who believed in the divine light. Sam said that if the girl doesn't want anyone to know what happened between them, then she needs to give him a test. The girl realized that she had no choice, and now the situation has changed radically. Now it is not she who keeps people in fear, now she is afraid. The girl almost screamed. She only now noticed that her vision had returned. Sam, putting on the shirt, said that the reason for her blindness was that her mind and soul were not one, but when she began to listen to her desires, she was healed naturally. The hero said that Franca should arrange her personal life, then everything will work out in other areas of life. The girl was delighted with the meeting with the hero, and could not refuse him his requests. The two of them left the testing room, where Irina was waiting for them. Franca said that the test was over. Irina began to ask how everything went and what the outcome of the test was. Stan was prematurely happy. even offering to help take Sam to his village on his own horse. But Franco loudly declared that Sam's faith in the divine light was stronger than ever, and that he had passed the test. Irina sincerely congratulated the hero, said that she believed in him, and was very happy. Stan was very upset that Sam was able to pass the test and become closer to Irene. Irina also noticed that Frankie's vision had been restored and asked how she did it. Franca did not know how to tell anyone about this miraculous healing. Sam intervened and said that Mrs. Franca had been blessed with divine light for her devotion and sincerity. The lady replied that everything was so, her body was filled with divine light and healed. Irina was very happy and told Sam that successfully passing the test should definitely be celebrated. But Franca stopped them, saying that Sam had just joined the church and he needed to go there to accept the teaching. The hero said that if the instructions require it, then he agrees to go to church right now. Sam and Irina walked towards the exit of the castle. Stan angrily looked after them. He turned to Frank, said that he did not believe Sam's honesty, and asked if she had made any dubious deals with him. The girl replied that she respects Stan, but believes that he is minding his own business, since taking the entrance exam is her business. On the way to the church, Sam and Irina stopped at a cafe where a guy bought a milkshake from a cowgirl. She looked very attractive. Next, Irina invited the hero to go to her favorite clothing store. They were met by an attractive girl who greeted Irina and said that she had not visited them for a long time and asked what her boyfriend's name was. Irina sheepishly told the girl that she and Sam were just friends. The girl said that she understood her, because everything starts with friendship, and then invited her into the hall to choose purchases. When Irina headed into the hall, the girl quietly turned to Sam and said that he had made the right choice, because Irina was a very good girl. Irina asked Sam to come to the changing room so that he could help her. She couldn't fasten the clasp on the back and asked Sam to do it. She was very shy. She said that this dress size was just right for her last year, but now she can't button it up. The hero decided that this request would not be difficult for him and he would cope. However, the clasp did not give in to the hero and he decided to use magical power. He pulled the clasp with such force that he tore it out of the dress. It completely came apart and began to fall from Irina's beautiful figure. He did not expect that this could happen and now he did not know where to run so as not to run into Irina's wrath. The girl burst into a loud scream. She called Sam a pervert. It could be heard far outside the store. And Sam also received a punch in the face for his tricks. But it was a rush of emotion and the girl quickly regretted what she had done. She told the hero that she would meet him later and left. She was embarrassed. The hero once again thought that he needed to be more careful, because if Irina found out about his essence, she would definitely kill him. We are transported 3 days forward, to the place where Franca lives. The girl lets out a muffled groan, her strength running out. Sam says that with every prayer they share, his faith grows stronger. She can't say anything to the girl, she just nods her head. The hero has tired her. The hero notices that the girl is worried about something and asks him about it. The girl says that Stan is planning something bad and the hero needs to beware of him, because he is a very powerful sage of the Divine Church of Light. Sam said that he had nothing to fear, because Mistress Irina was next to him and Stan would not dare to harm him. The hero went to the castle across the street. It was late at night. He heard someone sneaking behind him and said out loud that the pursuer had better leave. He turned to look at the man who was following him. Behind him stood 5 men with weapons. They were aggressive. A fight could not be avoided. Based on their outfits, Sam determined that they were mercenaries, and they were following the instructions of the customer. And it was true. One of them, with a bald head, said that their task was to blow off his head. The hero decided not to give them a chance and to attack first. He used his magic. He called upon Princess Siri for help, throwing away her achievement card. Siri shows up and immediately reprimands Sam for throwing her card so hard. But after a few seconds her mood returns to normal and she asks how she can help him. Sam says that mercenaries who received a task from an unknown person want to kill him. The thugs do not take the princess seriously and invite each other to have fun with her before killing her, because she looks very attractive. The girl asked the hero if he wanted these stupid, impolite pigs to die. The hero said that she had the opportunity to have fun and train on weaklings. The bald gang leader told them to shut up and surrender or face a harsh death. The battle began. The long-haired bandit sent a fireball at the heroes. Princess Siri easily deflected his blow, cutting the ball in half. She was attacked by 2 other mercenaries, but she easily fended off each of them. Sam admired Sister Siri's fighting technique. She had noticeably become a better fighter. When suddenly another gang member crept up from behind and stabbed Sam in the chest with a long blade. He figured that if Sam died, the summoning technique would dissipate and Siri would disappear. However, after the blow, Sam's shadow clone dissolved, leaving the enemy stunned. The hero said that he knew about attacks from behind more than anyone else, and therefore thought out escape routes in advance. But the blonde did not give up. He said that the village priest could not defeat him and his gang, and was already flying at him with a knife in his hand. Sam weighed the pros and cons and realized that the enemy was counting on his magical power. And he decided to act hand-to-hand. With his right hand he drove into the enemy's jaw. The blow was so strong that the asphalt under the body of the fallen man broke in 5 places. Many bones were probably broken as the enemy could not move. Sam was clearly pleased with his knockout blow and felt that he was in good physical shape. Princess Siri also had everything ready. No one except the 2 heroes nearby could stand on their feet. The girl said that he should find out who was behind the attack, so as not to wait for a second time. Sam replied that he could guess who the customer might be and would look into this matter. The hero thanked Princess Siri and said that it was time for her to return to her world. The girl asked if he really considered her just a tool that he could use at any moment, without giving anything in return. Sam felt embarrassed and asked what he could do for her so that she would not consider him a bad friend. The girl said that if they spent the night together, he would not owe her anything and would be able to call her again if she needed help. We are transported to the hotel, where the manager asks the heroes if they have a preference for the love room. Sam said he wanted to try the most unusual room they had in the hotel. Princess Siri was embarrassed and surprised by such a hotel, which has unusual love rooms. Sam told the princess to put aside her worries and trust him, even though he himself didn't know which room they were going to. In the room they saw various oblong-shaped objects. The girl said that it was the first time she had seen such strange objects and was not sure that she wanted to use them. The object began to move and vibrate. Siri fell into a stupor and could not say a word. Sam said there was nothing to worry about and they would figure out how to use it as the evening went on. The girl lay down on the bed. She did not understand why she felt shame. We are abruptly transported to the Church of Divine Light, where Irina, Sam and Stan are standing. The hero yawns, because he spent the whole night exploring various oblong-shaped objects with his girlfriend. Irina asks the hero why he didn't get enough sleep. Sam says he studied new techniques all night and didn't have time to sleep. Stan warns that when the archbishop of the church comes, Sam needs to behave decently, and not as usual. Sam said he was much better behaved than Stan Stinky, who liked to kill little animals. Stan gets angry and promises to impale the hero when they leave the church. The archbishop appears on the stage, greets the arrivals and addresses the newcomer. Sam greets the boss and feels the fashionable aura emanating from him. The archbishop immediately gets down to business and says that the activity of demons has increased recently and he has 3 tasks for them. Stan needs to destroy the demons who are killing merchants outside the city. He accepts the task. Irina's task is to track down the demons that live in the city and destroy them. The girl accepts the task. The hero is sent to the Red Moon nightclub. Without finishing the task, he immediately accepts it. Then he realizes that he has already heard about this club and asks again about the task. The archbishop says that he has information about the sale of demon slaves in this club, and his task is to prevent transactions from happening and demons from entering their city. Irina asked why Sam had such a difficult task. The main one replied that the Church of Divine Light does not need useless people, and if she believes in him, then he will cope. Sam confidently stated that he would cope with the task and would not let Irina down. The girl was pleased to hear the hero's words and she decided that she needed to help him in his mission. Irina took out a bag full of money and gave it to the hero. The girl said that he needed a lot of money. Since he would not be able to withdraw it through the security, he would have to ransom the slaves. Sam realized that the Church of Divine Light is not as simple as it seems from the outside. The hero thanked Irina, but refused the money, saying that he had a plan according to which he would not have to spend her money on slaves. The girl asked what his plan was, but Sam said that she would see everything herself when the time came. Night had fallen in the city. The moon illuminated the main street. A man leading a horse shouted at someone on the road to get away. A girl with a very familiar hair color was lying on the ground, showing her hopeless situation with all her appearance. The horse driver told the girl to get out of the way and not disturb his important gentleman. An obviously rich gentleman, covered in gold chains, looked out of the carriage and asked what was happening. The girl apologized, saying she had no choice. And she began to make eyes at the gentleman, using the magic of charisma. The man immediately fell in love with the attractive person. The carriage was moving towards the Red Moon nightclub. The carriage shook all the way, either from the bad road or from something else. The horse driver listened all the way to the sounds coming from the carriage. Upon arrival, a man got out of the carriage, but as you already understood, it was our hero, who turned into a rich gentleman and told the servant not to enter the carriage, since the girl was resting. Sam was glad that his plan worked, and now he, in the guise of a rich man, will be able to participate in the auction. Meanwhile, the gentleman himself was resting in the carriage. At the reception, the girl recognized Mr. Stone, because he was a regular customer of their establishment and loved to spend time with their slaves. Sam, in the guise of Stone, said that he needed what he always needed. And now he was already lying in the room and waiting for the girls who were about to arrive. Two half-naked girls entered the room and said that they missed Mr. Stone. While he was not listening, they said that it was very easy to make money on him, because entertainment with him lasted only a few minutes. The hero thought to himself that today they would not be able to get their honestly earned money so easily. An hour later, Sam called the manager and said he needed help. He said that the girls she sent to him did not cope with their mission and passed out earlier than he needed, and asked if there was fresh goods. The manager replied that the client's desire is law for them and they will be able to help him with his problem. She invited him to the dungeon, where new slaves were sitting behind bars. She showed him 3 tied-up girls who had very short dresses. She said that these demons are a very rare race and asked which one he wanted to choose. Sam said that it was not serious to offer such a rich gentleman only 1 girl and he would take 3. The girl asked how he was going to pay, in cash or by check. Sam said that he would pay with a check for any amount, because money is not a problem for their family. The girl asked Sam, in the guise of Mr. Stone, if he could buy her if he had so much money. The hero said that he could buy it next time, but now he asked to pack these 3 girls. The girl said that she would go get their clothes, and in the meantime he could get to know them. Sam walked up to the cage and told the girls he wouldn't hurt them. The girls were afraid of the hero, because everyone who wanted to buy a slave said that they would not cause harm. Then Sam took off his mask for a while and told them that he was a demon like them, and had come to save them. The girls were very happy about the amazing rescue and thanked the hero. Sam said there was nothing to worry about and they would be free soon. The manager returned with the clothes, but Sam completely forgot to return to the guise of Stone. There was silence. Sam used charisma magic and ordered the woman to submit. The manager obeyed and sat down on her knees in front of the new owner. Sam turned into Stone, told the girls to change clothes and follow him, and act natural. When Sam was leading the girls, other club guests were jealous of the amount of money he could afford to buy 3 slaves at once. Sam pretended to be a tough gentleman and rudely answered and asked why they were looking at him like that. They left the club. The hero's plan was a success and now they needed to go to a safe place. But then the real Mr. Stone appeared and began shouting that the imposter needed to be stopped and the slaves returned. Sam realized that he had been discovered and there was no need to hide anymore. The hero and the girls began to run away, with the nightclub security chasing after them. Irina walked by and asked what Sam was doing here. The hero shouted that he needed help and would explain everything later. The girl reacted very quickly and rushed to the hero's defense. She used magic and created a barrier of divine light through which the pursuers could not pass. 30 minutes later, Sam and the demon girls were already at Irina's castle. The girls were exhausted and scared. They were afraid that they would be killed, because they knew what the castle was. Irina asked Sam why he brought demons to her house, because the archbishop told him to destroy them. Sam said that he was not going to kill them and wanted to give them freedom. Sam said that it is wrong to kill creatures just because they are not of the same race as you, because among people there are also evil people who kill others. Irina said that they could no longer be in the castle, to which Sam replied that he would teleport them to a place where they would not have contact with people. And indeed Sam used the device to transport the girls to another area. The girls were moved to a safe place, to the hot springs. To a place where our old friends, Princess Maggie and the former owner of the Intimate Services Salon, will take care of them. The princess looked at the girls. They were confused. The girls did not know what awaited them, but the situation was favorable. Sister Maggie said that she would teach them how to survive and that they should not be afraid of her. She began training the girls one at a time, with the goal of increasing their stamina to further satisfy Brother Sam. We are transported to the house of Franco's sister, where the hero arrived. The girl says that he is in danger because he failed the first task and did not destroy the demons, as the Archbishop bequeathed. The hero says that that's why he came to her, to ask for help, and also to connect him with the Archbishop for a conversation. The girl says that he is lucky and he can atone for his guilt, since today the only daughter of a rich businessman was kidnapped, and if he saves her, he will be forgiven. Sam was very happy about this situation and asked Franca to tell him more about what happened. The girl put her stockinged foot on the hero's shoulder and told him not to worry, because she could help him. Franco said she was trading information about the businessman's daughter for a sensual and gentle foot massage. Sam said that the mistress will be pleased, because giving girls pleasure is the meaning of his spiritual path. Loud female moans began to be heard from the room. The parishioners heard that they were coming from Franco's bedroom. People said that Franco was punishing infidels for the safety of all believers. The girl held her mouth with her hand, barely holding back a scream, waves of pleasure convulsively spreading throughout her body. Sam decided to play a joke and said that in the eyes of people she is still the same saint as she was before meeting him. Franco replied that nothing has changed since then. He just opened her eyes and now she sees the path of divine light even better. The hero said that it was time to discuss information about the stolen daughter of a businessman. The girl said that with the help of her magical vision and magic she found out the location of the kidnapped girl. She is in the lair of a gang that calls itself Razor. We cut to the Razor gang building, where Sam is already trying to come up with a plan to break in. The hero decides to use a plan that always works. Cotton, a smoke screen, and we understand that Sam is turning into an attractive girl. He, in the guise of a girl, approaches the entrance to the building, and he directly asks the guards how he can find the Razor gang. It is worth noting that Sam chose a very elegant appearance in order to save the girl as quickly as possible. The security confusedly asks the beauty why she needed the Razor gang. Sam decided to come up with the most elegant lie, and said that the leader of the gang invited him, and if he didn't show up on time, they might get hurt, so they needed to let him through. But the guard turned out to be not so simple. He knows that his owner does not bring girls home, but goes to have fun outside his borders. Sam has to use the skill of seduction to prevent the situation from getting out of control. The men thoughtlessly decide to listen to the hero and let him in. Sam, in the guise of a girl, thanks the guards and goes into the house. Sam walks through the house and notices how huge it is and what extensive renovations it has. Sam notices two large men guarding the door to the room and decides to go through that door. Sam greets the men and calls them handsome, and asks them if they would like to spend their time with health benefits. Men also easily fell for the hero's charisma in the guise of a beautiful girl, and while they were unconscious and drooling, he knocked them to the floor with 2 knockout blows. Sam burst into the room where the prisoners were and said that he had come to save them. 2 girls in short dresses, one younger, the other older, were sitting tied up on the floor. Sam began to untie the young girl, who he thought was the daughter of that same rich businessman. But when he released her mouth, she screamed that the second girl needed to be freed first. The hero smiled and said that he would save the maid too. They were no longer in danger. But the girl shouted that the maid was her, and the tied girl was the daughter of a businessman. The hero did not understand how he could be so mistaken, because the first girl looks younger and more beautiful than the second. The girl shouted that she was also beautiful and young. Sam apologized using his charisma skills and the girl stopped screaming. Sam assumed that the girl was beautiful. She just got hit in the face for a very long time. The businessman's daughter said that no one beat her and that this was her usual appearance. Then Sam decided to buy the floating fist skill, which can edit people's appearance. He grabbed the girl, pulled her towards him and swung as hard as he could. He struck dozens of blows in the face of the businessman's daughter. She began to feel dizzy and asked the hero to stop. The maid began to worry about the young mistress. She thought that she was about to be killed. But Sam finished his technique and decided to show what came of it. The girl's face changed, her facial features became more gentle and sweet. He succeeded. The maid was shocked by such changes. The businessman's daughter noticed this and angrily asked her if she really thought she was ugly. Popping noises were heard and someone entered the room. It was the boss of the knife gang. He asked Sam how he dared come to his house and try to take hostages. Sam suggested that the gang leader go out and talk like men, to find out who is more right. The leader asked who he works for and whether he even knows how to fight. Sam said that he works for the Church of Divine Light, the head of which is the Supreme Archbishop. The man said that he did not care about the Church of Divine Light, and anyone who came to his house without asking should be punished. The leader ordered his maid to kill Sam. She said that she would carry out the order. The girl was holding a golden whip in her hands. Apparently it was a weapon that she knew how to handle. The gang leader headed out of the room, leaving the girl to destroy the hero. But the girl had long noticed how attractive Sam was. He asked her why she was doing the leader's dirty work. The girl said that she likes it and she likes cruelty. Sam met her gaze and cast a spell the same as he had used on Franco. He transferred it into an illusion. The girl stood in a brightly lit room all alone and wondered where she had ended up. Sam said that now she is in his power and will play by his rules. The girl turned out to be very self-confident and said that such tricks would not work on her. However, Sam, using his powers, took her whip, tied her hands and hung her from the ceiling. Her legs trembled. She began to beg Sam to take her by force. The fire of desire flared up inside her. The girl screamed. It was Sam who began to use her whip against her. The hero said that he would allow her to enjoy cruelty if she so desired it. The girl said that even if he hit her 10,000 times, she would not ask for mercy. 2 hours later, the girl received almost 3,000 blows from the whip, but the girl continued to laugh. It seemed that she liked it. Another hour later, the girl came to the chief's office to report on the work done. Her appearance excited the gang leader. He asked if she liked having fun with the young guy. The girl walked around behind the man, showing fake interest, and asked him to close his eyes. The man obeyed her and was caught in a trap. The girl used the whip to strangle him. His life was in her hands. Sam appeared in the office and said that the bald old man had made a mistake by asking him to kill a young attractive girl. And now Sam will decide who lives and who dies. The girl, her name was Maxim, began to squeeze the whip harder. The bald old man began to lose consciousness. With all his strength he tried to reach Sam, but with every second he became weaker. He quickly lost consciousness and could not control his body. Finally he went limp in his chair and didn't move anymore. The hero asked Maxim if there were explosives in the house. When asked why, he replied that he wanted to set off fireworks. Having done everything he had planned, Sam turned into a bald old man and, together with the girls, went out to his gang to say that he was going to hand over the hostages, and ordered them to stay put. The gang members wished him a good journey and remained waiting on the spot. The door slammed shut, and the gang members saw a clock mechanism on the inside. They could not immediately understand what was happening. Everyone crowded around the door and tried to look at the clock mechanism. A bright light filled the knife gang's headquarters. A monstrous explosion woke up the city, and the knife gang became history. It was very epic when Sam and Maxim walked away from the explosion. The mission was successfully completed, the hero was proud of himself, and the girls admired him. Sam arrives at the home of a wealthy businessman to return his daughter to him. They were met at home by the butler, who said that the girl's father was already hurrying home. The girl said that her dad was very rich and would generously thank Sam for her return home. The hero said that this was not necessary, but he himself remembered that he had changed her appearance beyond recognition, and now it is unknown whether her father will now recognize her. The door swung open and the girl's father ran into the house. Yes, this is the same Mr. Stone who likes to have fun with girls of easy virtue. The hero was also a little shocked by the realization that he had just recently been left tied, naked, and gagged in his carriage. Mr. Stone began to cry, hugging his daughter, and saying that he would not be able to live further if something happened to her. The only thing Sam didn't understand was how he recognized his daughter when her appearance completely changed. The man replied that any parent would recognize his child among thousands of others. Their family also has a distinctive mark, star-shaped birthmarks on their necks. The man began to take a closer look at Sam and asked where he could see him. Sam said that there are a lot of people in the world who look alike, and he is sure that he is seeing Mr. Stone for the first time. Stone's daughter said that whether they had seen each other before or not does not matter, now the main thing is to thank the hero for saving her life. Stone said that in honor of saving his daughter he was organizing a banquet today and inviting Sam, where he would give him a big gift. Sam accepted the invitation and said that he would definitely attend the celebration. Meanwhile, at Stan's house, the maid brought him a fresh newspaper with news. On the front page he saw the man he hated most. Every news of his victories aroused Stan's ire. He crumpled up the newspaper and threw it at the wall. He believed that it was inappropriate for a smelly hillbilly to act on behalf of the Church of Divine Light. He took out his anger on the demon slaves chained to the wall in the basement of his house. The girls asked to stop, begged for mercy, but Stan began to beat them even harder, saying that they were unworthy to live. All this was observed by a servant girl who wanted to stop the violence. In her hands was a small mirror. Meanwhile, the hero returned to the castle. He called his girlfriends to him. He asked the girls to help him prepare for the evening event. They were glad to be useful to the master. They quickly moved into the room, and the girls said that they wanted to relax him first. Sam didn't immediately understand what they were hinting at. But the girls had already decided that the gentleman should be pleased. They immersed him in their magical illusion. He felt good. In the illusion, the gentle water caressed the hero's body, but in the present, one of the girls made him feel good. Sam received the next achievement card and with it the bull rush skill. And the next card with the dragon transformation skill fell into his piggy bank. A girl from the dragon clan said that the hero needs to contact Ginevra in the evening via a magic mirror, and be careful so that no one sees it. The hero asked her this magic mirror was. The girl said that she was in a hurry when she was getting ready here and forgot it in the toilet. Sam didn't know how to react to this, but there was nothing he could do. He had to go to the toilet. In the toilet, he opened the lid of the toilet and saw a golden mirror glued to the inside. Ginevra appeared in it and greeted Sam, her appearance stern. The girl was clearly angry. She called him a poorly educated demon who doesn't even know about magical objects, like a magic mirror. The hero still found it funny, because Ginevra didn't know from which part of the room she was talking to him now. The girl said that a few days ago, the scout troop was attacked by the Divine Light Sword, and the entire army was destroyed, except for the 3 demon girls. They were captured and taken to the Divine Light prison. She said that this was done by Stan, who keeps them in his dungeon and mocks the prisoners, and is also preparing a conspiracy against the hero. She found out this, since her spy was able to get into his house. Sam told Geneva to be very careful because this guy has a good nose for demons. The connection was interrupted. This could have happened if someone entered the room where Sam was negotiating. The butler entered the toilet. He was very surprised that Sam was sitting over the toilet. He asked what he was doing. Sam said that he felt sick, so he sat down near the toilet. The butler sympathized with him. The time has come to celebrate the miraculous rescue of the daughter of a wealthy businessman. The hero was dressed in a very beautiful and expensive suit, which made him feel not very comfortable. Irina reassured him, saying that he did not need to worry around her, because everything would go fine. She was wearing a gorgeous dress with a deep slit on her right leg and she looked amazing. Stan appeared in a business suit, complimented Irina and bowed. Without showing any emotion, she thanked him and said that he looked good too. Stan said that he did not like such pretentious events, but as a famous person, he could not help but accept the invitation. All the inhabitants of the house looked in their direction and said that they had never seen such a handsome guy. Stan took the compliments personally and said that they shouldn't fall in love with him, because his heart belongs to the divine light. But the girls had already surrounded Sam, because these compliments were addressed only to him, and no one was looking at Stan. Stan could not look at the hero without anger, and said to himself that soon everything would end and he would take everything that belonged to him. Sam finally fought off the groupies and was able to get to the toilet. He thought that his level of charisma was very high, because he didn't even try to seduce anyone now, but there was no end to the girls. Ginevra entered the toilet and told the hero that he was in danger. The hero asked what danger she was telling him about, because he didn't know what she was talking about. The girl said that Stan received evidence that Sam participated in the slave auction, and Stan is going to make this information public at the holiday in front of everyone. The hero asked what he should do so that his secret would not be revealed. The girl said that he is a very important ally in their common plan and therefore she found a solution to the problem that arose. Ginevra also said that Stan has a device that detects the breath of demons and can ruin his disguise. Sam asked how she was going to solve his problem, since she still hadn't told her the plan of action. The girl led Sam by the hand into the toilet stall, locked it, and said that she could absorb his demonic chakra so that Stan's device could not detect it. Stan asked if Sabrina was really going to suck his demonic chakra. She said that she knew what she was doing, because she was an expert in protecting demons from people. Stan tried his best not to groan, but you could hear in the toilet that there was someone in the stall. At this time Stan came into the toilet. He was thinking about how sweet a victory over this village upstart would be. He heard moans coming from the toilet stall and became wary. He began shouting to the entire toilet, calling for whoever was hiding in the toilet stall. Sam came out of the booth. He began to clap his hands and say that he had heard about Stan's great plans. Stan said that his knowledge of this situation will not help him in any way, it will still reveal his true face. Sam did not argue with Stan, but simply said that he should be more careful. Ginevra, pleased with herself, remained sitting in the booth so that no one else could hear her. The party began. There were more and more people in the hall. The buzz of conversation spread throughout the entire mansion. Mr. Stone appeared. Next to him was the Archbishop. The gentleman publicly thanked Sam for saving his beloved daughter, and also expressed gratitude to those who took part in the celebration. Mr. Stone's speech was interrupted by Stan, who asked and began to say that everyone present had been brazenly deceived. He started pointing his finger at the main character and said that he was hiding his demonic origins and had hidden goals, which is why he joined the Church of Divine Light. Irina began to stand up for Sam, saying that he had passed the test with the Staff of Light, and Franca confirmed this. Sam was as calm as possible. He said that he did not need to be protected and asked Mr. Stan to continue his speech. Stan said that he had convincing evidence that the crystal captured how Sam was being sold at an underground auction. Stan threw the crystal up so everyone could see what he wanted to show. The crystal turned into a transmitter and began to tune in to show the recording. He was sure that now everyone would see Sam's real face. Gloating overwhelmed him. The guests looked up at the screen with shame on their faces. They could not look at it for long. Sam asked Stan to stop this disgrace, because he is in decent society. Irina lowered her eyes to the floor. She could not look at this shame. On the screen there was a recording of Stan in women's stockings and underwear being beaten with a whip by a demon girl. Stan was furious. He yelled at Sam and said that he was the one who switched the crystal to make him look like a fool. Sam interrupted him, saying that Stan himself suggested showing everyone this recording, and also stated that the sacred sword of light was not worthy to be in the hands of someone who was being whipped by demons, and asked to hand the sword into his hands. Stan's rage knew no bounds. He was ready to pounce on the hero and kill him right on the spot. The Supreme Archbishop told everyone to shut up, because they were on the same side, the side of the divine light. He also said that despite the fact that they cannot verify the authenticity of the recording, so as not to discredit the Church of Light, Sam and Stan must pass the test and prove who is more worthy to wield the sword. Sam said that he is ready to fight, but will Stan accept his challenge? Irina stood up for Sam and said that he did not yet have the necessary fighting skills to resist the sword of light, that is, Stan. Sam said that he believed in the true power of light, and the fight would put everything in its place, and if his thoughts were pure, he would not lose, although in fact Sam knew that he had every chance of winning. The hero took off his jacket and prepared for the fight. Stan told him to take a weapon because he couldn't afford to beat up the weak and unarmed. The hero said that in order to defeat such a villain as Stan, he would have enough power of divine light. Crying that the holy light does not illuminate demons like Sam, Stan attacked the hero, swinging his sword. He used the holy light strike technique against Sam. A fiery aura rushed behind the sword, cutting everything in its path. Sam managed to break the distance between them and step back. Stan didn't plan to kill Sam with this blow. He wanted to drive him into a trap and was sure that he succeeded. But Sam took a jade stone from his pocket and pointed it at the enemy. He used the holy light jade technique and blinded his opponent. The girl was also blinded and thought to herself how Sam was able to master the secret techniques of their church so quickly. The girls were ready to go blind, just so as not to take their eyes off the hero. Sam decided to use the power that he got from one of the 3 rescued girlfriends. He rushed at Stan with great speed, breaking the air that separated them from each other. It was the bull rush technique that was so effective in this situation. The enemy flew to the other side of the room and with a roar crashed through the wall he hit. Sam thought the reception was too strong and he might have overdone it. The smoke from the exploded wall was clearing. Everyone was waiting to see if Stan would be able to get up after such a blow. Yes, he was able to get up, and not only was he not injured, but he was no longer wearing that business suit. Stan wore the armor of the Holy Church of Light, which greatly increased his strength. Sam also felt the incredible power emanating from the holy armor. Stan said that each divine light artifact has unique abilities, and in this armor it is invulnerable. Stan used God Realm mode and charged at his opponent with the speed of holy light. Sam realized that he would not be able to stop such a fast strike, and decided to use the skill of another of his friends, throwing slugs at the enemy. But while he was trying to use magic, he was wounded in his left arm by a holy blade. He began to retreat, not understanding why his magic did not work, because he could not throw the mucus at Stan. Stan said that demonic magic does not work against magical artifacts. He once again attacked Sam using his sword of divine light. Irina screamed at Sam to try to defend himself, otherwise he would die. Sam summoned his sword and used the 6 gates ice slash attack, which he learned from Princess Siri. Stan was surprised, because no one had yet been able to repel this blow from his sacred sword. They entered into a sword fight. Stan believed that he had no equal in fencing among those living today. Sam knew this himself, and he needed to come up with a different battle plan, otherwise he would die. He decided to try to piss Stan off and say that he is so brave only because he has the most powerful weapon in his hands, but without a sword he is just a vile coward. Stan asked the hero if he really believed that he couldn't handle it without a weapon and threw the sword aside. Sam took advantage of the opportunity and stabbed Stan in the body with his sword, but he easily stopped the blow. The hero certainly could not have expected this. A new plan was needed. Stan said that even without his sword he was able to deal with the stinking demon. Sam's brain kept generating ideas, he couldn't come to the right conclusion. Before Sam's thoughts could settle in his head, he was punched in the face by his opponent. And now he was flying into the far wall of the large hall, breaking the wall behind him. Stan said that such a dirty animal would never defeat a great master of divine light. Sam could barely stand on his feet, his face was broken. He now relied only on his charisma, so he winked at the girls in the hall. The girls began to shout at the top of their voices that Sam was their hero, and Stan was a villain, who without his divine things was simply a nonentity. Stan continued to not understand why all the girls were not on his side even now. The girls shouted that superiority in strength over Sam did not make him a great man, because he was still a scoundrel. Stan was infuriated by all the statements addressed to him. They called him a useless and evil person who is not worthy of the Church of Divine Light. All this drove Stan crazy. He lost his mind and his sacred armor burst and shattered into fragments. He did not control his powers, and did not understand how it happened that his armor crumbled. Sam's plan worked, because in order to control the artifacts of the Holy Light, you need to have unshakable self-confidence, and the girls killed this faith in him. Sam did not attack the unarmed Stan and asked him to stop this war. But Stan wasn't going to listen to the smelly hillbilly and grabbed his blade, and attacked him with the words, "Die dirty pig." But the blade was knocked out of his hand by an arrow from another member of the Church of Divine Light. The girl's name was Lucia. She told Stan that if the Divine Light refused him, it did not mean that he could act so vilely and attack the person who proposed a truce. Stan called Lucia a dirty wench who has no right to tell him how he should behave. The sword that Lucia knocked out of Stan's hand flew towards Sam began to glow with divine light, and the hero caught him, feeling hot energy spreading throughout his body. The sword glowed as brightly as it had not shone for decades. Sam asked if it had a switch. Stan couldn't believe that his sword was now giving its power to the stinking demon. The archbishop stated that everything had been decided and now Sam had been promoted to the 7 sages of the Holy Light, and Stan, who had lost his light, would be cast out of the church. Sam received a sword of light, which increased damage to evil creatures by 100%, as well as armor of light, which could be created at will. When it was all over, Sam walked up to Lucia, the bow of the Holy Light, and thanked her for her help. The girl grabbed the hero's hand and pressed it to her chest. She said that she would be happy to receive his gratitude this evening at her home. Irina took Lucia's words as a joke, but Sam knew that it was far from a joke. Lucia asked Irina if there was a relationship between them. The girl replied that there was nothing between them. She said with sadness in her voice that they were just friends and nothing more. The hero also felt sad from these words of Irina. But Lucia was an experienced girl and understood that Irina would not even admit it to herself. The clinking of glasses was heard. The celebration spread throughout the castle. Irina congratulated Sam on the fact that he was now one of them, and they would be able to work together more often. Sam asked the girl if she drank a lot of alcohol and if she would get sick. The girl admitted that she really doesn't know how to drink, and therefore all the drinks are prepared for her by Sebastian, who will never allow her to get drunk. Sebastian, meanwhile, was thinking that especially for such a holiday he had made the wine much stronger than usual, so that all the guests would like it. He believed that even if the lady was drunk, Sam, being a real man, would not take advantage of her condition for his own purposes. Sebastian talked to Irina's late parents and said that he would be happy if she gave birth to a child next year. Irina herself began to notice that she was very drunk. Sam noticed this too and began to worry about her. He offered to take the girl to her bedroom and put her to bed, to which she replied that he could not appear there and that she still needed to take a shower. Sam brought the girl to the bath. She began to call Sam to take a shower with her. Sam didn't immediately know if he had heard what she was saying correctly. She fell silent and he began to worry, asking if everything was okay, but she continued to remain silent. Sam burst into the bath to see if she had passed out in the shower, and then her hand grabbed him by the collar and pulled him inside. She hugged him and kissed him deeply. He couldn't leave. A few seconds later, the girl was sitting in a hot bath, but she was very sad. She asked the hero why he refused her, because she showed enough initiative. Sam reminded her that she talked about the ban on desecrating her body. The girl said that since he was appointed one of the 7 saints, their union would not stain her body. Sam asked her with bitterness in his voice if she would like him if he were a demon. She said that even if he is a demon, he is now a holy demon and she will follow him both to heaven and to purgatory. Sam said that he was very glad to hear such words from your address and also wanted to spend this evening with her. The girl opened up to him and they united as one. The pleasure these two felt was beyond words. A 5-star character card has become available in the hero playing field. We are transported to Stan's mansion, at the entrance of which there is a guard of 2 priests. Sam screams and asks why they won't let him into their own house. One of the priests punches Stan in the face and tells him to talk kindly to them. They explain to him that all his property now belongs to the church again, and all his past merits now mean nothing. The members of the Church of Light are very angry with Stan because he has caused great damage to their faith. Stan leaves, leaving his mansion. He has nowhere to go. He wanders until nightfall, and then he meets 2 demons. The demons recognize Stan as a former swordsman of the Holy Church of Light. Stan asks them what they are up to. The demons want to repay his debt, to avenge the thousands of relatives he killed. Stan begins to run away, because he no longer has the powerful power that the artifacts gave him. But they surround him from the other side and say that it has been decided to take him into account. He tries to justify himself and begs for forgiveness from the demons. But they do not want to listen to his dirty words. The sounds of blows and screams of the victim are heard. Morning comes. We are transported to the castle of Irina. She wakes up in her room. Her head hurts a little after yesterday. Meanwhile, Ginevra comes to Sam and says that she knows about the work he has done. Sam asked if the seal on the Demon King's heart had been removed. The girl said that she felt his strength growing and she needed to wait a little longer. Sam said that he had fulfilled his part of the agreement and asked Ginevra to remove the chain of death from him. He didn't want to feel like a toy in the wrong hands. The girl said that perhaps she would like to free him, but of course she would not do this.